Athlenda Mate.
And on Thursday, they followed him and cornered him. And when they did that, he started shooting at police, and police returned fire, and he was then shot and killed during the confrontation.
Learners at Dielelani Secondary School in Soshanguve are set to return to class today following a strike over alleged sexual abuse by educators. The principal and 3 teachers have been suspended pending the probe. The Gauteng Education Department will convene a parents' meeting at the school this weekend to reiterate its commitment to learner safety. Jabuli Lembata has more.
Yesterday, a protest at the school was escalated by the political parties and civil rights groups joining in to support the learners. The department went into a meeting with the members and sought learners who would give their complaints to a social worker who was brought to the school. However, none of the learners went forward. Yesterday, in a separate incident, an educator suspected of sexually assaulting a learner at Bronkhorstspruit appeared at the Bronkhorstspruit Magistrates Court for a bail application. Education Department spokesperson Steve Mabona says the arrest of the teacher shows that the claims are being taken seriously.
We wish to reiterate that the safety of our children is a priority, and we continue to work tirelessly with all the stakeholders to make sure that we deliver quality education in our schools.
The suspect remains in custody till 11 September. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News, Soshanguve.
COSATU is dismayed following SASSA's announcement to end the Postbank's participation in processing social grant payments in favour of private banks. The Trade Union Federation says SASSA's decision undermines extensive interventions to try stabilise and rebuild the Postbank. Spokesperson Matthew Parks says with social grant recipients receiving so little and the cost of living rising, they should be protected from fee deductions to fund the profit margins of private banks.
COSATU urges the South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, to reconsider its rash phasing out of the Postbank as a service provider for social grant payments. This bewildering move will see affected social grant recipients charged R10 per R1,000 withdrawal, whilst the Postbank is reported not to deduct such fees.
The UNHCR says it's still willing to assist about 500 foreign nationals facing eviction in Cape Town. The group was relocated to Wingfield in Maitland and Paint City in Bellville after being evicted from Green Market Square in the CBD during COVID. 360 of them are asylum seekers and refugees from the DRC and Burundi, while the rest remain undocumented. Officers from the Sheriff of the Court handed eviction notices to the foreign nationals yesterday for them to appear in court next month. Carlo Peterson has more.
UNHCR spokesperson Jan de Bishop says the foreign nationals have declined offers to return to their countries or to reintegrate within South Africa. De Bishop says the UNHCR is open to assisting the occupants to avoid being evicted.
Let me be clear that our primary, obviously we have a concern for the welfare of the people who are there, and we are ready to assist them.
A foreign national living at the Paint City site in Bellville, Caroline Shemi, says the occupants believe the UNHCR has turned its back on them.
If there's a United Nations there, they are for the South Africans, they are not for the refugees. Because if they are supposed to be for the refugees, these kids are not supposed to be out of here this time.
The Bishop says the occupants need to make contact with the Commission individually to be assisted. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And European leaders and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky are set to meet in Paris today in a new effort to pile pressure on Vladimir Putin after he vowed Russia would fight on in Ukraine if no peace deal was reached. Frustration has been building over what leaders say is the Russian president's unwillingness to strike a deal to end Moscow's 3.5-year invasion of Ukraine. The summit, to be co-chaired by the leaders of France and the UK, aims to firm up plans on security guarantees for Ukraine if or when there's a ceasefire and get a clearer picture of US involvement. Gold is trading at $3,562.52 an ounce. The rand's at 17.66 to the dollar, 23.73 to the pound, 20.59 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.47 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays reported on the N3 North just as you approach the
And in your sport, the All Blacks drop Sivu Reese and reshuffle the back row for Saturday's battle with the Springboks. Big upset at the US Open as Swiatek's knocked out by Anisimova, who will play Osaka in the semi-final. No surprises to the Proteas women's team named for the World Cup starting this month. And the men are in action today. They're playing England in the second ODI.
Gauteng's weather's fine. Johannesburg starting at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 14 and 31. Vereeniging 11 and 30. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. Police have killed a man they say was a wanted kidnapper in Kempton Park.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. 702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
It is 6 minutes past 6 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning on this Thursday, the 4th of September 2025. Good to be in your company. Good morning, Johannesburg, Tshwane, Soweto, Benoni, London, Beijing, wherever you are listening to us from. It's good to be in your company. It really is. This morning, the whole breakfast team, of course, is here. Amo's got your traffic looking quite spiffy today, Amo. I must admit, you're all dressed up, and we know why, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. Mateo always looks good. He's got your business this morning. Good morning.
Thank you, Ray. How are you? Welcome back.
I kind of thought you're a little bit left out. I better say something. So there we go. He's looking great today, everyone. Sia, Ropiwa, Papilila are producing your show. Cindy's got your sport. KG pushing your buttons. And then a warm welcome to Orly Kalenga with your news this morning. Lots to talk about. Our shout-outs. Have you ever broken something that's new just after you bought it? Perhaps you went and bought a car and you drove it out of that lovely showroom and it had that nice bow on the front and all that stuff that they do, and you drove it out and then all of a sudden someone drove into you, or you drove into something. Not just cars though. Have you broken something after you've just bought it? Have you dropped something? There's a reason why we're asking that this morning. So lots to talk about. I'd like to hear your stories. 072 702 1702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
All right, Amo, have you ever broken something just after you've bought it and you thought, really? Really?
Well, good morning, Ray and 702 Lenders. I've broken a pair of high heels. In fact, my first pair of high heels that I bought. And then, so they were fine. I tried them on in the shop. They fitted me perfectly. I walked around a little bit. They were good. They were comfortable. Nothing hectic. And on the day of the event, they broke.
No.
Just as I was about to walk out of my home, they broke. And I said, there's no way I'm going to keep these shoes. There's no way I'm going to buy a new pair. So I, made shift with other shoes. I wore a different pair. Then the following day, I returned the shoes. I said, guys, there's no way this can be my first heel and it breaks and I accept that. Please, I don't want the money. Just give me a new pair. Doesn't have to be the same one, and they did.
And they did? Okay. But what did you do in the night? Because you're walking out of your house and you've got this outfit, you've got these shoes, and bam.
Then lucky for me, because my sister and I are 2 years apart, but we wear similar sizes. So her size 8, that's a bit a smaller cut, can fit me. Okay. So I wore her shoe on the day. I wasn't happy with it. I was just like, I wanted to be new from head to toe, but it worked. It worked.
Were grumpy about that, Mateo?
I broke a bottle of cologne that I had just bought.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't fancy smancy cologne. I was still young then, but I still cherished the fact that I could buy my own cologne,
Oh, no.
And it slipped out of my bag because I'd taken it out of the box and I was going somewhere and we're getting dressed where I was going. So as soon as I was pulling out the shoes, then the bottle also fell out and it broke. Yeah, and my sister was like, look, just the clothes you have, just dab the stuff and then you at least have the smell with the clothes that you have.
Take your entire wardrobe out.
That's a good trick.
Drag it along.
Yeah, look, but I was still sad.
Yeah. Not so good. All right, talking about that this morning, 702 Land, I'd like to hear from you. What has been your bad experience? Also coming up on the program this morning, on a more serious side, the Department of Social Development has been making news headlines for the wrong reasons, and Clement has been talking about this. First, it was revealed that the department reportedly spent 1 million rand of taxpayers' money on a trip to New York. This was just for the one person. Then it emerged it was actually 3 million rand. It's got bigger and bigger. Almost 200,000 rand was apparently, according to the Sunday Times, spent on a single flight. So I'll be chatting to the Director General in that department, Peter Nechipale, later on about this. And also their chief spokesperson, Lumka Oliphant, she's been suspended. But the whole argument has got nothing to do with this or the Sunday Times story. It's got to do with something else. But I think we do need some answers because it's a little bit strange what's been going on. And of course, 3 million rand on a single trip to New York City. Crazy stuff. So I'd like your thoughts on this. My question to you, to what extent should our leaders actually spend money? Should they be afforded some level of luxury? Think about it. It is our ministers. These are our leaders who do go overseas. Or in this case, it was just a department. Or is it economy class all the way? I'd like your sort of thoughts on this because, look, it's very easy to say, just fly economy class, we need service delivery, etc., etc. But there are still our leaders. I'd love your thoughts on this. 072 702 1702. And then a little bit later on, I'll be chatting to GroundUp's Marecia Damons on a few key stories, including Joburg's dark buildings, where people live in hijacked buildings. And the question I'll be putting to Marecia later on is, what do we do with these hijacked buildings? How do we sort this out? I know that Panyaza Lesufi, he's the Gauteng Premier. He's got a plan for these hijacked buildings. And he was talking, in fact, I heard him on Eyewitness News yesterday, saying that people will be removed from these hijacked buildings. They will be removed from informal settlements. And if they're not here legally in this country, well, then they've got to go. And a question was posed to him, what happens to the South Africans who are living here in these dilapidated buildings and also in informal settlements? And he said, well, we have a plan, but it can't cater for everybody. So I'd like your thoughts on that one as well. Lots to talk about this morning. 072 702 1702.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
And always at exactly 13 minutes past 6 o'clock, Mateo, you always ask us a question.
Yep.
What are you asking us this morning?
Almost like a riddle this morning, Ray, but I want to know, money is tight but not too tight for?
Oh, I like that.
So it could be something that you spend on, maybe an activity that you do every month. Maybe you register for races, those 21-kilometer races that people go to every weekend. Very, very expensive lifestyle, that.
Yeah.
Or it could be a vice, buying cigarettes or buying something that keeps you calm.
You have to,
you have to have it no matter what, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Mine's Friday afternoons going off to see a movie. I will go and see a movie, often on my own because everybody else is working. But it's quiet time. It costs a bit of money. Movies are not cheap. I don't care what anybody says. They're not cheap. But it's a great way just to unwind on your own once a month. And it costs money.
You should do some reviews for us, Ray.
A pair of earrings. Every month I make sure that I have a new pair of earrings.
That's why you have different earrings for every day.
Okay.
Yeah, and they come, and I make sure that I buy like different sets. So I'll buy maybe white, but different kind of whites, and then I'll buy brown the next month according to colors
Where
that I
do you
like.
keep all of them?
In my house. There's a special place where I keep.
You've got like a vault.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. You know, some guys get up in the morning and they choose a watch for the day. Amo, you
It's
just
my earrings.
choose your earrings. Oh, interesting. Lovely. Okay, so what's the one thing you go, okay, I'm going to spend the money. I don't have it, but I have to have it. 072 702 1702.
702.
Weather.
It is hot in Gauteng at the moment. Another fine day in store for our province. Johannesburg starting at 13, going up to a hot 30 degrees. Pretoria 31, Vereeniging 30. Cape Town will be partly cloudy in the morning, otherwise fine, a high of 20. Limburg 20, same as East London. And then Durban also sunny today and 25 degrees.
EWN Traffic.
It's 6:15. This Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Right, Amo, how do we start our Thursday?
Well, in Parktown, Ray, we've got a major accident scene on the M1 North. It happened right near Jan Smuts Avenue. It's causing heavy delays coming out of Boysen's Road. Obviously, this is due to peak time delays as well, so you'll be met with that accident. Please try to avoid it if you can. While traveling on the R59 North, some delays reported in the Mayorstyle area just as you approach Nelson Mandela Avenue coming out of Swartkopies Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between the Golden Highway and the N12, and that's due to the roadworks that are taking place along the Golden Highway. So please be on the lookout there and approach with care. We'll have more updates, but if you come across anything else on the roads, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the lady on her way to work, listening to a love song on the radio. She's recreating the music video in her mind with herself as the leading lady. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a concert on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
My name is Olina, and what I love about 702 is the Clement Banyatela show. I didn't think that I would see Clement today.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers. Like Steakhouse Classic man-sized T-bone for 140 Rand per kilo. Monster Energy Drink 500 mils, any two for 29 Rand. Save 24%. And Fanta Sprite or Stony Soft Drink 2 litres, any two for 35 Rand. Save 13%. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
This is the story of our Nando's Flame Grilled Chicken, marinated for 24 hours in our unique peri-peri recipe. Kissed by fire, full of flavor, perfectly grilled. And like any story, this story of our full peri-peri chicken has two sides. Yours to choose, yours to share. Enjoy the Nando's full and two sharing meal. That's our full chicken and two sharing sides of your choice for only 277 Rand.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, 702 listeners. This is MD in Pretoria. I broke my watch. Just bought Michael Koro's watch online. I just received it, and as I walk on the passage, I hit the wall with my watch on my wrist. My heart was so. Have a blessed day.
Hi, good morning, Ray and your 702 crew and your 702 listeners. I'm Nombulelo. Last month, not long ago, just last month, I went and bought myself a nice bread tin. You know, the part that you close was glass. It's made of glass. Got home, took it out of the box. It just slipped off my hands and broke on the floor into pieces. I wanted to cry. I couldn't even take it back. I mean, it was my fault. I'd never seen a glassy bread tin. That's why I saw it that day. I fell in love with it, brought it home, broke it, same time. Yeah. Have a lovely day, everyone.
Nombulelo, that's horrible. That is, Mateo,
Sounds
that's
like
terrible.
She's still quite sad from the experience, eh?
I'd be sad. You know, you go to the shops, you think it's expensive. I'm going to buy it. I like it. You bring it home, and it happens. things fall out of your hands. Right, keep them coming. 0727021702. I will tell you in a few minutes why we're talking about things that you've bought and then you've broken.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
5 things you need to know about today. And it's a very sad start to the day. Formidable journalist and political correspondent Sidi Madia will be laid to rest at the San Salvador Catholic Church in Germiston. Friends, colleagues, and loved ones are expected to gather to bid her farewell. Now, Sidi, she passed away last Wednesday, just days after celebrating her 42nd birthday. Over the past week, heartfelt tributes have poured in from across the country, with political parties, fellow journalists and members of the public all paying their respects. And I went to the memorial service about 2 days ago, and I must admit, so many people, and it just shows exactly the caliber, the person of Sidi Madia. Right, now, this is why we're talking about things you've broken or things you've lost. A shocking scene unfolded in northern Turkey when a brand new £700,000 luxury yacht capsized and sank just 15 minutes after being launched. Imagine this. The incident took place about 200 meters offshore in the Erogili district of Zonguldak. This was on Tuesday. Footage captures the dramatic moment the vessel tipped onto its side and disappeared beneath the water, while passengers scrambled to jump overboard. The owner was forced to swim to shore. Imagine this, you get this lovely yacht, it only costs you £700,000. They launch it, they probably broke one of those bottles of champagne, and then it sunk. So yes, we'd like to hear your story this morning. We've heard about Brereton so far and Eau de Cologne and all the rest of it. What has been your story? Vicky Turner will have more on this. She's standing in for Adam Gilchrist on the World View. Then Portugal is mourning after 15 people were killed in the derailments of the 140-year-old Gloria Funicula, which is a well-known tourist attraction in Lisbon. Emergency services reported that 18 others were taken to hospital, 5 of them in serious condition. Officials confirmed that foreign nationals were among the victims, though their nationalities have not yet been identified. Here's a story. The late Menzi Ngubane would have turned 61 years old today, born on this day. In 1962, he left an indelible mark on South African TV with his unforgettable villain roles in productions like Isibia, Generations, and Ubambo, just to name a few. Now, who can forget the iconic line from the SABC1 drama that first aired in 1989 and made Menzi a household name? He played Mazwai, a streetwise character fresh out of jail who discovers that Ndozi, an old associate, has built a supermarket in the township, allegedly with his money. Let's take a listen.
Lalela Landos. Ngikunika 2 days ubuyiselo kaKesari kuKesari yangizwa. Angidinga impendulo. Akunamoya la ngizwile ngithi. Ngikunika 2 days. Ngakhi? 2. Good boy. Woo!
Mazui was the man, eh?
Yeah, there we go. In fact, I was thinking about it as well as I was reading that. Who's your favorite villain of all time? Who's like your guy? Mateo, your favorite villain of all time?
It would have to be South African TV for most of those. The likes of Mazui, David Gennaro. Man, yeah, those were the guys for me that were the villains. Darlington Michaels in Isidingo, that was a good villain for me. Yeah, I think it's mostly South African ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
702 Land, who was your favorite or is your favorite villain? Would like to hear from you on that one. Then on this day in 2002, Kelly Clarkson was crowned the very first winner of American Idol on Fox, marking the start of her incredible music career, including this one.
Pretend, yeah, since you've been gone. You're dedicated, you took the time. Wasn't long till I called you mine. Yeah, since you've been gone. And all you'd ever hear me say is how I picture me with you. That's all you'd ever hear.
Kelly Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone, crowned the very first winner of American Idol on Fox on this day, 2002.
702.
The newspapers.
Right, no Sifiso Zulu today, so we're doing it on our own today, the newspapers, The Citizen, Race Hate Dossier on YouTube. Now, here's a story, Harry Nell, and you remember he was involved in the Oscar Pistorius case. He's compiled an AfriForum report detailing every case of the EFF leaders' hate speech, incitement to violence and statements in support of terror organizations. Now, the farmers' body SIRE and AfriForum, they plan to send the dossier abroad, asking countries to sanction Malema. So that's the big story today on the front page of the Citizen newspaper. The Sowetan, how a heist suspect tricked the cops. Mateo, you got to hear the story. So there was this heist, right, in Dawn Park in Boksburg. So the cops pitched up and they arrested this one guy, and they said, okay, there's actually a hideout at this house down the road. So they went down Rondebolt and they went down the road. And this one guy saw the cops coming, one of the suspects. So he ran next door. He jumped the wall. He got next door, and he posed as the neighbor. And the police rushed in, and they said to him, what's been going on next door? Have you seen anything? He said, no. I believe there were really bad guys next door, but I just kept out of their way. He was one of the high suspects. And he he fooled the cops. So they have arrested one guy, but they're looking for this guy who was wearing no shoes. And as the cops left, well, he left too, also wearing no shoes. There we go. The Business Day this morning, SA losing out on billions in duty relief. Trade officials say they're working to fix a problem. Very strange story, this one, because apparently when we trade with the UK, we shouldn't pay any tariffs, but we've been paying 10%, and nobody can tell us why. So there's a couple of meetings underway now to say, let's rather not do that, and maybe we get some money back. You never know. And then the Star newspaper this morning, Gauteng's week of road carnage, at least 14 people killed in 3 separate crashes as authorities pin hopes on new traffic laws. And Amal, there was a big crash yesterday. I think it was the N3 at Allendale. 5 people being killed in a taxi crash.
In Midrand on the
Midrand.
N1 North.
N1 North,
it was
there we go.
really a fatal one. Horrible accident scene indeed.
So the big question is, how do we deal with that? Anyway, those are the newspapers.
EWN Business.
All right, money's too tight to mention. There was a song once by Simply Reds, but Mateo, you are asking, money is tight, but not too tight for an activity, going bowling, the movies, hiking, etc. Why are you asking us this?
Well, Ray Woolworth says there's method to the madness when it comes to its higher product inflation. The retailer reported improved sales in its food division. They were up 11% at 52 billion rand. The increase in earnings was boosted by the inflation passed on to consumers, which hit 5.2% for the year to June. Woolworth CEO Roy Bakatini says the prices are high at Woolies because it sells more than just staples, but specialty products as well. Woolies says it sells higher commodity products like coffee and chocolate. You'll remember that cocoa prices hit a high of close to $13,000 a ton in December, while coffee prices hit nearly $5 a pound. Now, the retailer says the food division profits increased by nearly 25%, but that was really the shining light that was dimmed by poor results in Australia for Woolies. The group reported significant decline in profit, primarily due to struggles in its Australian operations. Headline earnings per share dropping by 24% for the 52 weeks ending in June. The Country Road Group business in Australia reported a loss due to heavy promotional and discounting activity, high import costs, and weak consumer demand. Country Road sales fell by about 5.4% despite the group's overall turnover of 81 billion rand. Now, the group expects consumer spending to remain constrained in the country, but recent investment and stronger local momentum may support recovery in the year ahead.
Country Road has always been a problem for Woolies in Australia.
Achilles heel almost.
Continues. Right, how's the rand in the markets?
Still in some weakness this week at 17 rand 70 against the US dollar, 20 rand 63 cents against the euro, and 23 rand 75 cents against the British pound. The price of gold down 0.5% at $3,532 an ounce. ounce, while platinum is down close to 2% at $1,410. Brent crude now at $67.07 a barrel. More business after 7.
Thank you, Mateo. Just gone 6:31, and Orly Kalenga's got your latest eyewitness news. Good morning, Orly. What are you leading with at this hour?
Ray, good morning. The Gauteng government intends to crack down on informal settlements by demolishing 400 in the province. The provincial government says illegal land occupation is getting out of control. A decision's now been made to demolish informal settlements that have not been officially recognized. Speaking at a media briefing yesterday, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says they can no longer turn a blind eye to criminality.
We are tired as government now. We'll deal with that situation because it's quite clear that this syndicate thinks that they can collect money, invade land, and nothing happens to them. If we have to meet in court, we'll meet in court, but we are going to destroy those informal settlements.
Lesufi says when informal settlements are left to expand, they eventually become an extra burden on the state.
Immediately after that informal settlement is established, what do people need? They need water. They need a school. They need scholar transport to be taken to the nearest school. They will then come and say they need sewer. They need roads. And we don't have, so we have to move money from those that are obedient to satisfy those that are disobedient because they can close roads or they can go on a public platform and insult us.
The National Consumer Commission has urged motorists whose vehicles are affected by the latest recall to take them to the nearest dealership. Yesterday, cars including Ford Mustangs, the BMW X3, VW Polos and the Hino 500 series buses were flagged. Some of the vehicles have defects that could be dangerous to drivers and passengers. This is the 7th recall this year. Here's Commission spokesperson Petso Ntaba.
We really want to urge the owners of all these vehicles in the bus to immediately contact their accredited or authorized dealerships for them to carry out the necessary repair. Remember, you just need to ensure that your vehicle is not affected. If you're not sure, contact them and give them their VIN number.
Cape Town police officers have found themselves in a bizarre situation. They responded to a call of a naked man near the Western Cape High Court yesterday. While trying to arrest him, he managed to grab an officer's gun and fired at least 3 shots, 3 of them into the ground. Police spokesperson Malcolm Poya says police were eventually able to contain the situation.
The members overpowered the suspect and arrested him on charges related to a robbery of a firearm, discharge of a firearm in a public space, and public indecency. He will appear in the Cape Town Magistrate Court once charged.
And at least 15 people have been killed in a tram accident in Portugal. It derailed in Lisbon yesterday in one of the capital's most popular tourist spots. The Yellow Gloria tram veered off a steep stretch of tracks near Liberty Avenue and crashed into a building. 18 people were injured. The Portuguese government has declared today a national day of mourning. Gauteng's fine highs between 29 and 31.
And in the traffic in Parktown, we've got a major accident scene on the M1 North. It happened near Jan Smuts Avenue. Delays from Boysons Road while travelling towards Diepkloof. More delays on the N1 North between the Golden Highway and the Diepkloof interchange.
The top story, the Gauteng government intends to crack down on informal settlements by demolishing 400 in the province.
Time to review my favorite employee, my FNB Gold business account. You give me thousands of potential customers by listing my business on NAV Marketplace and access to Guard Me, a bodyguard for cash drops, locking up. No other card does this. If you weren't a bank card, I'd give you a raise.
The FNB Gold business account. No other card works harder for your business because your safety is worth it. FNB, help changes everything. T's and C's apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Unfold extraordinary with the brand new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 5G 512 gig. Get it on a 6 gig Red Core plan from 1,749 per month over 36 months and double your storage with Vodacom, Mzansi's winning 5G network. Enhance your deal. Add 149 extra per month and get the Galaxy Watch 8 eSIM and Galaxy Buds 3. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
Your office is more than just a place to work. It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way. from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Ray and 702 family. On Muto's question, Ray, I'm a 52-year-old Joseph from Sasolbeck. I can't keep up with PlayStation. I play my PlayStation 4. I wish somebody can donate me PlayStation 5 because it's very expensive. Ray, I buy games. Every year I buy FIFA. Every year I buy UFC. I don't know, Ray. I'm 52 years old, but I can't do anything without my PS4. Thanks, Ray.
Good morning, Ray, and to the rest of the team. So to answer Muteo's question, I will never ever compromise on skincare and cosmetics. That's my feel-good every month special. Even the girls at the body shop call me to tell me, hey, there's a 3 for 2 special. Hey, there's this, there's that. Because that's just how much I love them. Some people do find their products a bit on the expensive side, but I go crazy in there. That's really my feel-good moment, and I like smelling nice. I love their products.
You see, that's the thing. Talking about this morning, things that you can't afford. The money's very tight, but you have to get them because you have to be human and feel human as well. Amma, do you also do that as well, like 3 for 2 and go for specials and things like that?
Yes. But now that I'm older and I have to be a bit wiser with my money, so I'll look at the specials before I go shopping. And then I'll go to the store that's more convenient in terms of the specials. But otherwise, I never used to do that.
Okay. All right. Talking about things you can't do without. You don't have the money. But hey, you're going to buy them anyway. 072 702 1702.
Morning, Ray. Mike in Orange Grove. You're talking about breaking things. I got boys. I got toys, car toys and things like that. They don't even last an hour. Broken already. The last one was like, I wanted to see if there were little people in the car because it was remote controlled and move by itself. So, yeah, I've never seen anyone who breaks things more like these small boys, especially the toys. Oh boy, those things, life expectancy from the shop. If it passes a day, it's a miracle.
Gosh.
An hour mostly.
Wow, that's quite something, yeah. Also talking about things that you've broken. Cindy, have you done that before? Have you ever bought something and then you walked out of the shop and you've dropped it? Or you bought a car and someone drove into you?
No, thank goodness not, right?
Okay, well,
No,
let's
I'm
not
like,
doom you.
I have heard of stories like that where people do break stuff immediately. And the shop owners are like, sorry.
Yeah, you bought it.
Yeah, sorry.
Can't take it back.
But it's very different because if you drop it, right, and it breaks, that's fine. But if their packet breaks,
yeah, that's a bit
then
different.
do they have
Hold
to pay
on.
for it? Yeah.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep your stories coming. We're enjoying them this morning.
EWN Sport.
I like one of the newspaper headlines this morning. I think it's The Citizen. It says, the calm before Eden.
Oh, gosh.
And it's quite clever. The All Blacks, I think they're having a change on their wing.
They have. They've reshuffled their back row. They're playing the Springboks on Saturday in the Rugby Championship. Simon Parker starting at 6, moving Vai to lock. Satiti's at 8th man alongside Ardie Severe's playing in his 100th test. And yes, you're right, Ray. Siva Reese has been dropped, replaced by Imoni Norawa. Coach Scott Robertson resisted the pressure from fans to rehaul the whole team after their loss to Argentina.
A little bit of cohesion, guys that have played together. Obviously, we had their month off after the French game, and then the combination of the two Argentinian teams, and back to players on their experience and combinations, and also for the skills that are required for this test match. Obviously, it'll be an emotional game, and there'll be a lot of physical contact, so stepping forward to that. And
on the bench, potential halfback day before Kyle Preston. The Springboks side will be named in an hour's time. Huge upset at the US Open. The second seed, Iga Swiatek, was beaten by Amanda Anisimova 6-4, 6-3. Earlier this year, Swiatek thrashed Anisimova 6-love, 6-7 in the Wimbledon final. Here's Anisimova.
I worked so hard to try and turn around from that, and
I mean, today proved everything for me. Like, I can do it. So yeah, this was really special.
Anisimova will play Osaka in the semi-final. Osaka beat Makova 6-4, 7-6. Yannick Sinner cruised against Musetti 6-1, 6-4 and 6-2 to meet Agiela Sim in the semi-final. Proteas Women World Cup squad to be led by Laura Wolfart had no surprises for the tournament starting September 30th. Coach Mandla Mashimbi on what his players need to do to get over the line.
What's going to be key is to make sure that our players don't get to a point where they want it too much, because that could potentially be the thing that upsets our processes. So we need to stay on the ground and make sure that we play every game on merit and we take it game by game. Obviously keep their eyes on the goal, but every day is not going to be a good day for us. But one player must take responsibility if the opportunity is there for them to really win the game for this team.
Proteas men are in action today. They're playing England in the second ODI. Tony de Zorzi is out of the series, the hamstring injury. And FIFA has fined 6 national federations for their fans' discrimination and racist abuse at World Cup qualifiers played in June. Defending champions Argentina, as well as Chile, Colombia, Serbia and Bosnia-Herzegovina were all fined. Albania receiving the largest fine of 3.5 million rand for their fans' behaviour against Serbia. That included disrupting a national anthem. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
Keith asked us, who's George Goch? And I assumed I knew the answer, and I didn't. But some colleagues have been helping me, and you too. Hi, Mandy. George Goch was the second mayor of Joburg. He was also responsible for bringing in Chinese immigrants. That's according to Lee. And Andrew says the phrase, why said George Goch comes from South African township and Kasi slang.
A man stand up. Point of order. Yes. Nkandla. George Goch.
You always learn something here. Now you all know who George Goch is.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Did you know that the CSIR International Convention Centre has over 40 years' experience in hosting international, local and national business events? Located on a rather tranquil campus in Pretoria East within the knowledge hub and science diplomacy capital, the city of Swane. This fit-for-purpose convention centre is ideal for your association, congress or other business events. For more information, visit the CSIR icc.co.za, the CSIR International Convention Centre, where smart minds meet.
Breathe in, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. In, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. Again, in, insurance. Out, pineapple. Again. And again.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Backed by popular demand, legendary jazz icon Kenny G will be performing at the Super Bowl at Sun City on Friday, the 3rd of October. Get ready for an unforgettable night of timeless hits and pure musical magic. Get your tickets from webtickets.co.za. Brought to you by Breakout Events and 702.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, Uncle Ray. My name is Nikhil Daya, and I'm 11 years old and go to Grayston Prep. When I'm older, I would like to become an engineer, and I'm excited to play the Whiz Quiz with you.
Nikhil, I'm also looking forward to playing the Whiz Quiz with you as well. Up for grabs, 10,000 Rand. I've seen the questions. I think you've got a very good chance, methinks.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
Right, coming up to 6:45. More delays on the R24 East. What's happening there?
That's correct, Ray. In the Bedfordview area, an accident has been reported. It's right near the Kiluli's interchange. It's causing delays from Marecia Street. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling in Boksburg, bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N17 West. This is due to the road that are taking place along this route between Carnival City and the R21. About a 20-minute hold up there. While traveling on the N3 North, do expect delays between the Elands interchange and Van Buren Road. If you're traveling in Parktown, remember we spoke about an accident earlier on. It was right on the M1 North near Jansmats Avenue. It's been cleared, but traffic remains very slow coming out of Boysons Road. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
10 years ago,
Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
Okay, truck 7, that has 0 warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without MyWay's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. MyWay is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. MyWay. Live your way.
PG Glass Repair, PG Glass Replace.
I'm Delani, PG Glass Technician. Is that a chip? With our advanced tools and high-tech equipment, we can repair it.
World-class repair technology, only at PG Glass. Visit pg.co.za.
Coming up in your program in the next hour, it's What's the Question? Brought to you, of course, by Outsurance. Up for grabs, 3,000 rands in cash. All you need to do is send us an answer on anything that has piqued your interest in our show, and you could win 1,000 rand. Simply WhatsApp your name, that answer, to 072 702 1702. Then, of course, a little bit later on, someone else will ask the question to win 2,000 rand. Remember, you stand a better chance being selected to give us today's answer if you have SMS out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So SMS out now to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Good morning, 702 Land. Teppo from Proteas Land. My favorite villain of all time, from a South African production, has to be Lindiwe Madlabantu Tikana. Yeah, she nailed that role. She nailed that character. She's the best.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, team. Favorite villain has to be Jack Mabas. Was played by Vusikunen on Generations. I'd also say the Joker from a film called The Dark Knight, which was played by Heath Ledger. Rest in peace. I'd also mention Raymond Reddington from the Blacklist. Yeah, I think it's played by James Spader. So those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. It's Guy and Gatlong. Thanks.
Good morning, Ray. One of my favorite undercover villains was in Usindiso was Sherelle de Villiers. Ooh, shady.
So interesting, talking about villains. The late Menzi Ngubane would have turned 61 years old today, and he played a great villain. So keep your WhatsApps coming. Who's your greatest villain of all time?
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Good morning, Nikhil. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Uncle Ray.
Are you good? Are you ready for the Whiz Quiz?
Yes.
Good stuff. Right, up for grabs 10,000 rand. I'll ask you 10 questions. For every one that you get right, you get 100 rand. If you get 10 out of 10 in 60 seconds, you get 10,000 rand, and I'll be coming to the Greystone Preparatory School. And apparently you want to be an engineer, is that right?
Yes.
Fantastic, lovely. Are you ready for the Whiz Quiz?
Yes.
All right, Uncle KG, start the clock. Spell the word weekend.
WEEKIEND.
Okay, incorrect. How many colors are there in the South African flag?
7.
Okay, there are 6. Does the word scrawny mean brawny or skinny?
Brawny.
It's skinny. What root vegetable is mostly used to make French fries?
Potato.
Correct. True or false? The ostrich can run faster than a giraffe.
True.
Correct. In maths, what is 6 times 3?
18.
Correct. In which province can we find Kimberley? Is it the Eastern Cape or the Northern Cape?
Northern Cape.
Correct. Which Disney movie features a song called Let It Go?
Frozen.
Correct. True or false? When your pupils dilate, they open wide.
True.
Correct. Oh, I can't do the last one. Okay, judges. Let's have a look here. We've got over here. Have a look. Let's have a look. And okay, guys, you need to give me fingers. 7.
7 out of
7, 7, 7, 7. There we go. You got 700 rand. How does that sound, Kel?
Good.
Okay, have a great day at school today. There we go. That's the whiz quiz, and I must admit it was a little difficult this morning, a little tricky here and there, but still, Kel, you get yourself 700 rand.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702. Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
It's 9 minutes to 7 o'clock, and let's get back to the news cycle and talking now to GroundUp journalist Marecia Damons on a few key stories. Marecia, hi, good morning. Good to chat to you on 702.
Hi, Ray. Thank you so much for having me.
Right. So let's go through some of the stories you've been having a look at. And 2 years after the Usindiso tragedy, Joburg's inner city dark buildings remain at risk. And I know that our Premier, he's got this report. They've been looking into these dark buildings, these hijacked buildings, but we don't know what's in the Premier's report. What have you learned so far?
Yes, so as we would remember, back in August 2023, there was that devastating fire at the Usindiso Building, and that fire brought attention to just the hundreds of hijacked buildings in Joburg CBD, which are typically overcrowded and unregulated. And after that fire, there was an Usindiso inquiry, essentially just to inspect over 100 dangerous buildings. And they essentially needed to develop a roadmap for making those buildings safe. And GroundUp's reporter Kimberly Mutandiro visited some of those buildings, but the people living there said that since this Usindiso disaster, they've yet to see any progress being made towards making those buildings safe. And there's actually been a number of fires in those buildings over the last 2 years. But I mean, despite this, these residents don't wish to leave the buildings because for many of them, it's the only place where they can find accommodation. Others have lived there for several years. And I mean, they are living in appalling conditions. You know, it's unhygienic. There's no electricity. And in some of the buildings, people are using fire hydrants as a source of water. Gosh. So as you mentioned earlier, there was this inquiry that was given to the Premier, but it has yet to be made public.
Sure. Okay. So you've been to some of those buildings like Lalanati and also the Welpert Moses building as well. What are residents saying to you? I mean, is it about safety, dignity, survival? You did say that they don't want to go. They got nowhere else to go. But what are they really concerned about?
So it is mainly just the safety issue, but also many of these residents are foreign nationals, you know, and they're not paying rent to like a set landlord, but to criminals essentially. And what they have said is that they do sort of fear for their lives being stigmatized and so on. But their main issue really is that they are living in these appalling conditions where they have to make use of illegal electricity connections. The water supply is not safe, and they are essentially not safe. So they have said that instead of being forced out, they would much rather have those buildings just be made safe for them to live in.
Right. Okay, another story that's also on your diary as well. Dozens of organizations joining that court case to decriminalize sex work. And I heard John Perlman speaking about it yesterday afternoon. Which groups are jumping into this court case, and how may this their involvement perhaps shift the tone of the outcome of this legal push? Because it's a major court case, isn't it?
Yes. So sex workers and advocacy groups have long been calling for the decriminalization of sex work in South Africa, and that has now made its way to court. And the case was brought by SWET, which is the Sex Workers Education and Advocacy Task Force, as well as a sex worker. And they're just arguing that decriminalization of sex work actually violates sex workers' constitutional rights. It fuels stigma, and it just makes sex workers feel unsafe. So that matter is being heard at the Cape High Court, and recently Judge Andre Lagrange allowed just dozens of organizations, and I've seen the list. There's Sonke Gender Justice, there's the Treatment Action Campaign, the Human Rights Commission. It's just several organizations on both sides, those arguing for the decriminalization of sex work and those who are against it. So we're definitely set up for a marathon trial.
Yeah. Is it something deeper there? Are they looking for legal clarity, protection, something else? Because this is a topic that's been bubbling under the radar for a very long time now.
Yes. So back in 2022, there was a bill to decriminalize sex work, and it was published for comment, but it was later withdrawn. So we are unclear of the fate of that bill. But what those arguing for the decriminalization of sex work want is for sections of the Sexual Offences Act as well as the Criminal Law Amendment Act and related bylaws to be scrapped. So essentially, they're asking the court to also withdraw charges and to release anyone who might have been jailed under those laws, and then also just clear them of any criminal record. So at the heart of it, it's to make sections of the Sexual Offences Act and the Criminal Law Amendment Act and any bylaws related to that just to scrap those.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then your third story that you have on your radar, this new 15-month extension to phase out the SASSA gold cards. It's been a little bit messy, hasn't it?
Yes. So it's come quite a long while, but the Reserve Bank has now given Postbank 15 months to phase out these SASSA gold cards, because back in 2021, the security of the gold card had been compromised, which made that card vulnerable to fraud. And the Reserve Bank said to Postbank, look, you need to phase these cards out of your system. And they had given them several deadlines by when to do so, but they had missed those deadlines. And the Reserve Bank decided that instead of suspending those gold cards, which would have led to millions of beneficiaries not being able to access their grants, they said let's rather allow Postbank more time to phase those cards out of the system, but those cards will still be valid. And the last deadline was in March this year, but that deadline was missed. Because hundreds of thousands of beneficiaries still needed to switch from the gold card to the more secure black card. And the Reserve Bank has now given Postbank more time to phase out these gold cards and to let beneficiaries switch to the more secure black card. And Postbank was in Parliament, and they said that they are confident that once the rollout begins again, that they'll be able to assist beneficiaries who still have the gold card to switch to the black card within something like 2 months. But they haven't indicated when the rollout will start again.
But the most important thing is your card does work. Marecia Damons, thank you so much from GroundUp, doing fantastic work, and good to have you back on 702.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
It's a big story that, in fact, Clement's also been taking a very close look at. I'll be talking to the Director General at the Department of Social Development. Allegations of 3 million rand spent on a trip for a delegation to New York City, and the department's communications head has also been suspended as well. So finding out why, number one, she has been suspended, there has been this argument that it's got nothing to do with the fact that the Sunday Times had the story and Lumka Oliphant, some say, gave them the story. She says she didn't. But the big story is that she has been suspended. So that's number one. And then number two, 3 million rand being spent on a trip for a delegation to New York. So I'll be chatting to the Director General at the Department of Social Development. Just gone 7 o'clock. This Eyewitness News brought to you by Lotto Land. Lotto Land changes lives.
This is EWN.
A shootout in Kempton Park kills a wanted kidnapper, and Soshanguve learners return to class after a sexual abuse strike. Good morning, I'm Aurélie Kalinga. Police have killed a man they say was a wanted kidnapper in Kempton Park. The Mozambican national was killed in a shootout with officers last night. Police say he was on Mozambique's wanted persons database and linked to at least 5 kidnapping cases in South Africa. Spokesperson Athlenda Mate.
They have been tracing him for quite some time, and on Thursday they followed him and cornered him, and when they did that he started shooting at police and police returned fire and he was then shot and killed during the confrontation.
Learners at Dielelani Secondary School in Soshanguve are set to return to class today, following a strike over alleged sexual abuse by educators. The principal and 3 teachers have been suspended pending the probe. The Gauteng Education Department will convene a parents' meeting at the school this weekend to reiterate its commitment to learner safety. Jabuli Lembata has more.
Yesterday, a protest at the school was escalated by the political parties and civil rights groups joining in to support the learners. The department went into a meeting with the members and sought learners who would give their complaints to a social worker who was brought to the school. However, none of the learners went forward. Yesterday, in a separate incident, an educator suspected of sexually assaulting a learner at Bronkhorstspruit appeared at the Bronkhorstspruit Magistrates Court for a bail application. Education Department spokesperson Steve Mabona says the arrest of the teacher shows that the claims are being taken seriously.
We wish to reiterate that the safety of our children is a priority, and we continue to work tirelessly with all the stakeholders to make sure that we deliver quality education in our schools.
The suspect remains in custody till 11 September. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News, Soshanguve.
Cape Town residents are fearing for their lives amid a gang war. 3 children aged 10, 14 and 16, along with an adult, were shot and wounded by 6 suspects in Hanover Park. Police are still searching for the gunmen. Lauren Isaacs has more.
Gang and gun violence, a daily reality for residents in several Cape Town communities. This is the sound of gunshots being fired in Hanover Park while residents were making their way to work just after 5:30 yesterday morning. The Hanover Park Community Policing Forum's Kashifa Mohammed says the situation is unacceptable.
At this moment, there's this gang war amongst each and every gang in Hanover Park, and we as community must fear for our lives. This gangsters is keeping us hostage 24/7 in our community, and we're so fed up about this.
Cape Town has been marred by a surge in deadly gang violence recently, and law enforcement has been beefed up in identified gang hotspots. Lauren Isaacs, Eyewitness News.
Calls are mounting for the suspension of a senior Stellenbosch municipality official accused of making racist remarks. A widely circulated video shows a man believed to be Senior Human Resource Manager Alexander Kannemeyer making racially charged remarks targeting white employees. In the video, he admits to pushing illegal hiring practices to exclude white men. Stellenbosch Municipality says it's investigating the matter. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Political parties and trade union solidarity are calling on Stellenbosch Mayor Jeremy Furser to suspend Alexander Kannemeyer in the wake of discriminatory remarks he allegedly made in a video that was leaked. Legal representative at Solidarity Etienne Pio says decisive action must be taken against Kannemeyer.
Having Mr. Kannemeyer at the workplace, given the 2 videos that were leaked, is simply untenable.
The Good Party's Robin Hendrickse says Kannemeyer's remarks are deeply disturbing.
Racial engineering, whether in favor of or against any group, cannot be tolerated in any sphere of government.
The FF Plus also added its voice, saying it's shocking that a senior official will be willing to compromise service delivery to pursue transformation targets. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And European leaders and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky are set to meet in Paris today in a new effort to pile pressure on Vladimir Putin after he vowed Russia would fight on in Ukraine if no peace deal was reached. Frustration has been building over what leaders say is the Russian president's unwillingness to strike a deal to end Moscow's 3.5-year invasion of Ukraine. The summit, to be co-chaired by the leaders of France and the UK, aims to firm up plans on security guarantees for Ukraine if or when there's a ceasefire and get a clearer picture of US involvement. Gold is trading at $3,562.52 an ounce. The rand's at 17.66 to the dollar, 23.73 to the pound, 20.59 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.47 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Alexandra, we've got an accident reported on the N3 North. It happened right near Marlborough Drive. Delays from the Vincent Chabalala Road exit while travelling along the R24 East. We still have got that accident in Bedfordview near the Kilulis interchange. Delays from Marcia Street.
And in sport, the All Blacks named their team to play the Springboks on Saturday. The ICC increases the prize money for the winners of the Women's Cricket World Cup. And Amanda Anisimova stuns Iga Swiatek to make it through to the US Open semi-finals.
Gauteng's weather's fine. Johannesburg starting at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 14 and 31. Vereeniging 11 and 30. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. Police have killed a man they say was a wanted kidnapper in Kempton Park.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
The famous Super Lotto draw takes place tonight with a mouth-watering payout of 957 million rand. All you have to do is choose 6 lucky numbers and place your bets on the Super Lotto on lottoland.co.za. Will you be the next big winner on Lottoland? Or place your bets now. Lottoland changes lives.
No person under the age of 18 years permitted to gamble. Lottoland South Africa is licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. National Responsible Gambling Program toll-free council line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
It's fast approaching 8 minutes past 7 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning on this Thursday, the 4th of September. Good to be in your company. Well, coming up on your program in the next 20 minutes, we are due to speak to the Director General at the Department of Social Development. Allegations or reports in the Sunday Times of 3 million rand being spent on a single trip for a delegation to New York to attend a UN function. Now, the department's communications head has been suspended. We're going to try to find out why that is. Asking questions about this. Also, I think taxpayers, you and I, we pay our taxes. We deserve answers. We need to know exactly where our money is being spent. But also be asking, how should our government leaders travel? Asking you this morning, should it be economy class? Should it be business class? They are our leaders, so I'd love your thoughts on this. Of course, obviously, 3 million rand is overdoing it quite a bit. So what hotels would be acceptable to you, the taxpayer, within reason? Apparently, officials were staying at some of the nicest, the most expensive hotels in Manhattan. So that interview is coming up shortly. And then also as well, speaking about a range of things this morning, Mateo asking the question, times are tough, but what's the one thing you can't do without? And also asking, who's your favorite villain? We've been talking about villains this morning, and who can forget Menzi Ngubeni? It would have been his birthday today. It would have been, I think, 62. So asking you, who's your favorite villain? Lots to talk about this morning. 072-702-1702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Things you need to know about today. Well, on this day in 1998, Larry Page and Sergey Brin founded Google in a Stanford dorm room. Now, what began as a student project has grown into a global tech giant, transforming the way the world accesses information. Here's a fun fact. I'm sure you don't know this. The name Google actually came from a misspelling of the word Google, so G-O-O-G-O-L. Google, which is the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. Well, Larry and Sergey wanted the name to reflect the idea of organizing an endless amounts of information online, but the typo stuck instead. Something else you need to know about. Get ready to hit the brakes. South Africa, the National Consumer Commission has issued a massive recall for vehicles, putting several major car brands on notice, including Ford, BMW, Volkswagen, and Hino. They're all affected with specific models flagged for potential safety risks. So it's only certain models. Here's some. If you're cruising around in a 2021 or 22 Ford Mustang or 24-25 Ford Transit Custom, you need to take action. BMW X3, the G45 series owners, listen up as well. Then VW drivers, check if your Polo model was made between the 18th of May and 23rd of May this year. You also need to take your car in. And if you're riding a Hino 500 series bus, be aware that you got a faulty drag link, so you better take your bus in as well. So those are just some of the vehicles that have been affected. Then in other news, a shocking scene unfolded in northern Turkey when a brand new £700,000 luxury yacht capsized and sank just 15 minutes after being launched. And we spoke about this morning. Have you ever bought something? Have you ever bought something and you've walked out of the shop and you've dropped it and you've broken it? Or perhaps you bought yourself a new car and you drove it off the showroom floor and someone drove into you, or you drove into a barrier or something. I'd like to hear your story this morning. Vicky Turner will have more on that yacht story. She's in for Adam Gilchrist this morning on The World View. Then the Zion Christian Church, that the ZCC, will hold its annual New Year Consecration Conference in Marecia City near Polokwane, Limpopo, from today until next week, Wednesday. The sacred event is an all-important occasion for the ZCC congregants, with the expected increase in traffic and pedestrian movement around the church as well. Just be careful. If you are taking the N1 North up there, you are going to see quite a bit of traffic. And then today, multiple award-winning musician Beyonce. She turns 44 years old today. She was born on this day in 1981 with a career spanning over 2 decades. She's given us songs like Single Ladies, All the Single Ladies, Crazy in Love, and Halo, and many, many more. Now, take a listen to this Ellen DeGeneres interview from November 2008, where Beyonce shared her favorite way to unwind. She's a multiple award-winning musician. She turns 44 years old today. Listen to this clip.
Yeah. When I get home, I'm like completely lazy. I don't want to clean. I don't want to do anything but try to recover. It's my job to give 100%, and I feel like, you know, I've been allowed to do what I love for so long. I love my job, so the least I can do is give my all. You know, you do the same thing.
We feel it. Well, yeah, but now are you like me, where you want to relax, but then after just a short amount of time, you can't wait to do something again?
I don't know how to relax.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't like to get a massage. I don't like to.
Oh,
no, I don't.
Oh, I like to get a massage.
Yeah, the only time I can really relax is on a boat, because then I have no excuse. I'm stuck, and I have to take care of myself and eat good food, and I can't escape.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a bit of time out. So what we thought we'd do this morning is add to what we're talking about. How do you unwind? Where do you go and unwind on your own? Do you do something just on your own? Do you go out with friends? How do you unwind like Beyonce?
Something up. I wanna go missing. I need a prescription. I wanna go higher. Can I sit on top of you? I wanna go where nobody's been. Have you ever had fun like this? We gon' roll up tonight. Black lights, spaceships fly. Unapologetic when we pull up tonight.
right, KG in the mix this morning. Do I get single ladies as well, or will you do that next time? Okay, next time it is. There we go. Beyonce, 44 years old today.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
It's 7:15. This Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Alexandra, a crash, Amal?
That's correct, Ray. Along the N3 North, this is just as you approach Marlborough Drive, delays from Vincent Chabalala Road. If you are traveling in Bedford View, we've got another accident scene. This one is on the R24 East. It happened right near the Kilulis interchange. Delays as you come out of Marcia Street. Please be on the lookout there. About a 20-minute hold up. And then traveling in Boksburg, we still have got bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is between Carnival City entrance and the R21. Roadworks are causing these delays. Please be patient along this route or use the N12 West as a way to navigate your way through Germiston as well as Bedford View this morning. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
20 years ago, you were driving from the dealership in your first car. And 20 years ago, the Outsurance pointsmen were on the roads eating traffic congestion. Whether you're an Outsurance client or not, we've all been getting something out. So show the Outsurance pointsmen some love this month and celebrate this 20th anniversary using hashtag pointsmanlove. From Johannesburg, Tshwane and Paarl to Stellenbosch, let's celebrate. Outsurance really means it when they say you really get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
17 minutes past 7 o'clock. And this is the situation. This is our big interview this morning. The Department of Social Development has been making news headlines for the wrong reasons. First, it was revealed that the department reportedly spent 1 million rand of taxpayers' money on a trip to New York for social worker Sizakele Mangangwe. She was just one member of a government delegation visiting New York for the UN Commission on the Status of Women. Then it emerged, though, through the Sunday Times, that the entire trip actually cost 3 million rand of taxpayers' money. The delegation stayed at one of Manhattan's priciest hotels for more than 2 weeks. Almost 200,000 rand, according to the Sunday Times, was apparently spent on a single flight. So what we did is we lined up yesterday the Director General of the Department of Social Development, Peter Netshipale, to talk about this. He did indicate that he would come onto the show. I thought to myself, and I'll be honest with you, 702 Land, I thought, you're going to come onto the show and you're going to talk about these allegations. And I thought to myself, well, that's very big because there's lots to talk about here as well. There has been Lumka Oliphant, who is also now being suspended. She's their chief communications person. She's been suspended because there have been allegations and stories in the background that it was her who spoke to the Sunday Times. The department is saying, no. We've suspended her because of questions about a report from the Auditor General. So we did then, we said to the DG, come on to 702 and talk to us about this. Talk to us about what's going on. He said he would. Now he's not answering his phone. So, DG, you've got until at least another half an hour. We'll give you all the time in the world to answer your phone, to talk about this 3 million rand that was spent of our taxpayers' money for this trip that took this delegation to New York City. I'm not saying that the conference wasn't very important whatsoever, but I'm saying 3 million rand. Why were people staying at hotels in Manhattan? Those are those top hotels. Why it was 200,000 rand spent on a single flight? And why, most importantly this morning, DG Peter Netshipale, are you not answering your phone after we agreed to speak to you? Somebody who is answering her phone, though, is the Suspended Communications Director General, Lumka Oliphant. Lumka, good morning. Good to have you on 702.
Good morning to you and to the 702 listeners.
Right, you heard my intro. The DG's not answering his phone, despite giving us indication he would. You have been suspended. What explanation has been given to you, Lumka, as to why you have been suspended?
I've been suspended, according to the letter, for some Auditor General findings on the time that I was acting as acting DDG Corporate Support Services, and the second one is that I've been suspended because they suspect that something happened with the OTT platform that I developed for the department as a way of trying to alleviate more cost on communication. And I think you guys know that buying airtime is not a child's play. It's a lot of money. And just to make sure that we have a memory repository for the work that the department is doing and document that work. So they are saying that also they want to look at that. And but I'm waiting for them to go to the portfolio committee next week because the Auditor General will be there, and they would also table, the findings of the Auditor General, and I can tell you now, in the Auditor General report, there is not a single word that talks about an acting DDG that must be fired, must be suspended, or must do any audit plan. Very clear. So without delving into that, you will have to wait for the Auditor General to make those public, and the Portfolio Committee when they need to go and speak to South Africans and account for the books of the department. But what I'll say is that if we are qualified by the Auditor General, the DG should not be in his chair, the CFO should not be in his chair, every executive in the Department of Social Development should not be sitting in their chair, because each and every one of them, there is a finding by the Auditor General.
But surely, if you are suspended, they should say A, B, and C. These are the findings, not you will find out in Parliament a while later. This doesn't make sense.
So they said that if you got the media statement yesterday, they said that they were going to have a panel of investigators, and they've given the panel of investigators 60 days to finish the work in investigating me, while I must be suspended. There's a media statement they sent out. I'm surprised that he said to you that he was going to come and speak to you, because in that media statement they are saying that they will not entertain anything from the media.
It's interesting because I did get that media statement yesterday, and I actually asked our producers the question. I said, is he going to speak to us? And they said, I don't know, Ray, this is what it says, but let's ask him. And then he gave us that undertaking. So it is very interesting, but I'd like to know from you as well, your relationship now, Lumka, with the minister and also with the DG. I mean, there's a quote where you said something about the minister that she doesn't have a matric, and that you called her into question. Your relationship now with the minister and the DG, can you continue in your position?
I will not be pushed, Ray, out of the department unfairly. That's the one thing that I know, and I will defend my name because I only have my name. And whatever they are planning to do, I will defend it because I've got the facts, I've got the documentation, I've got everything with me. And more than anything, I have served each and every minister that came to the department, despite every other politics that have been there. But I have to say that it has been coming, and I think I have not been surprised about what has happened. I would sit, Ray, in meetings where my work and the work of my team would be ridiculed. We would be stripped of our dignity in meetings, and I would have to sit and listen to everything that is being said about us. And I think now they have pushed me very far. It is not the first time, Ray, as well, that I've been accused of leaking information to the media. When the North Gauteng High Court released a judgment on the 350 SRD, and it said that the administration of it was unfair. I was called into the meeting where we were going to where we were going to discuss the appeal of that judgment. When I walked into that meeting, we realized that the presentation that was to be shared by everyone for information sharing, so that as well, if there are any communication implications, I can be able to advise. That presentation was not shared in hard copy. One of the executives then asked, why are we not having this presentation in hard copy? One of the executives said that because some of us are going to leak the information to the media. Gosh. I directly asked them if they were talking to me. They said, yes, Lumka. I then left that meeting without even excusing myself because I felt I was not needed there. So this thing has been happening, but I have been quiet. I have been trying to make sure that I keep the decorum, the respect. I have been trying to make sure that I continue with my work because I was not appointed. I'm not a deployee of any political party in that department. I got the job on merit, so they will have to follow through all the things that need to be done under the Labor Relations Act. If they want to take me on, I will also not lie down, Ray, and that they must know. So they know where they are because when the Sunday Times sent questions, I have WhatsApp messages from the DG asking me how did they get the information. For me, it was laughable because I know Jill Gifford. I used to work with Jill Gifford at the Star. She doesn't take any story down. So I then said to them, the information that these guys have, I don't think that they have everything. But when we replied, Ray, we replied with specifics. They gave the information to the Sunday Times willingly. The Sunday Times did not know where they slept, what airline they used. The Sunday Times did not know exactly the parliamentary question that contained this information.
They gave it willingly. They gave it.
They gave it because if you look at Jill Gifford, I'm sure if you invite her, she will tell you they were very thorough. They gave it to her against also my dissatisfaction that I had said to them that if you are going to do this way, I am sure you guys are not going to have a good Sunday. Because when things come to the department, I am the one who must be in the firing line. You guys are going to ask me all the questions. But they said that must go as it is. But I think there's another story that you are missing out as the media. Yeah. There was a story as well that was ran by the City Press on the same week. And there were two stories. And remember that I used to work for the City Press. Yeah. So anything that comes from the City Press, I'm always the first suspect because everybody thinks that I would give information to the City Press. Ray, I will not erase my history. This is my career. I worked at the Star. I worked at the City Press. All the people that are in different newsrooms, they were either at school with me, my former bosses, or even my friends, because we are in the same circle. These are the people that I know. Yeah. These are the people that I went to school with. But we have a decorum of how we deal with each other because we are on different sides and we are enemies. We're not enemies. Yeah. We are, yes. And as well, we do not just give information. They know. They respect the things that I do.
Lumka, I want to put it out there. 3 million rand on a single journey for a delegation. Is that amount correct?
The DG is out on Metro FM, on SABC, on Newsroom Africa, saying it is correct. This is public information. This is in Parliament as part of a parliamentary question. No Lumka is giving anyone information. This is information that is in the public domain, given by the Department of Social Development.
Sure. Lumka Oliphant, thank you so much. Suspended Chief Director of Communications at the Department of Social Development. We have given every opportunity to the Director General, Peter Netshipale, to speak to us on 702 Breakfast this morning. Director General, the ball is in your court.
EWN Traffic.
A little bit late for traffic. This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amma, what's happening?
Heading towards Signing Hill, we've got an accident reported on the N1 South, the N1 North rather, right after Rivonia Road. It's causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. More details coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
I was in another insurance company and I wasn't happy. One of my colleagues was also without insurance and she was happy. My niece is without insurance and she's happy. Then I just decided I wanted that happiness.
What was the real deal they could offer you?
870.
Every month?
Every month.
That's amazing. You're always getting something out.
Yeah.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. What brought you and Outsurance together?
Let me just jump on the call with them. Let me just see what's happening. He asked a lot of things about my vehicle, my sexy vehicle over here.
Ooh.
Yeah. And to my surprise, 718 Rand I end up saving. And this awesome product called Panic Assist. 24-hour security if we need their help. Thinking I'm a father, I need to look out for my family.
Absolutely. They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
EWN Business.
Right, my apologies, Matteo. We are hopelessly late this morning, but that interview I think was worth it. How are the markets?
A big rebound then from the JSE on Wednesday. The All Share up 348 points, pushed up by the big boy. The mining shares up 3.5%. Then banking stocks were down more than 1%, and industrials also weakening. The Rand weakness there taking on the SA Inc. shares. Nedbank down 5.5%. Harmison was down 2.9%. The coal miner Exxaro down 2%, with Telkom and Santam also amongst the losers yesterday. Rand at this hour 17 Rand 71 cents, and some weakness against the US dollar. Also in the red against the euro at 20 Rand 63 cents. And at 23 Rand 77 cents against the British pound. The price of gold down by more than 0.5% at $3,531 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,425. Brent crude at $67.18 a barrel. Full bulletin after 8.
Thanks, Matteo. Just gone 7:33. Orly Kalenga, good morning. What are you leading with at this hour?
Ray, the Gauteng government intends to crack down on informal settlements by demolishing 400 in the province. The provincial government says illegal occupation is getting out of control. A decision's now been taken to demolish informal settlements that have not been officially recognized. Speaking at a media briefing yesterday, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says they can no longer turn a blind eye to criminality.
We are tired as government now. We'll deal with that situation because it's quite clear that this syndicate thinks that they can collect money, invade land, and nothing happens with them. If we have to meet in court, we'll meet in court, but we are going to destroy those informal settlements.
Lesufi says when informal settlements are left to expand, they eventually become an extra burden on the state.
Immediately after that informal settlement is established, what do people need? They need water. They need a school. They need scholar transport to be taken to the nearest school. They will then come and say they need sewer. They need roads. And we don't have, so we have to move money from those that are obedient to satisfy those that are disobedient because they can close roads or they can go on a public platform and insult us.
The National Consumer Commission has urged motorists whose vehicles are affected by the latest recall to take them to the nearest dealership. Yesterday, cars including Ford Mustangs, the BMW X3, VW Polos and the Hino 500 series buses were flagged. Some of the vehicles have defects that could be dangerous to drivers and passengers. This is the 7th recall this year. Here's the Commission's spokesperson, Peto Ntaba.
We really want to urge the owners of all these vehicles and the bus to immediately contact their accredited or authorized dealerships for them to carry out the necessary repair. Remember, you just need to ensure that your vehicle is not affected. If you're not sure, contact them and give them their VIN number.
Cape Town police officers have found themselves in a bizarre situation. They responded to a call of a naked man near the Western Cape High Court yesterday. While trying to arrest him, he managed to grab an officer's gun and fired at least 3 shots, 2 of them into the ground. Police spokesperson Lumka says police were eventually able to contain the situation.
The members overpowered the suspect and arrested him on charges related to a robbery of a firearm, discharge of a firearm in a public space, and public indecency. He will appear in the Cape Town Magistrate Court once charged.
And Israeli strikes on southern Lebanon have killed at least 5 people. The health ministry reported 4 killed in separate Israeli strikes across the south. The Israeli military has not immediately commented on all incidents, but says it's killed Hezbollah member Al-Munim Musa Swaidan in a strike in South Lebanon. Yesterday, the UN interim forces in Lebanon said Israeli drones dropped 4 grenades near their peacekeepers in Lebanon the day before. Gauteng's fine highs between 29 and 31.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident in Sunny Hill on the N1 North. It happened after Rivonia Road, delays from Winnie Mandela Drive. There was also queuing traffic in Paulshof. This is along Witkoppen Road approaching Rivonia Road. Turn off, please be on the lookout there.
The top story, the Gauteng government intends to crack down on informal settlements by demolishing 400 in the province.
For those 2 a.m. checkouts or the late-night shifts, for the last-minute orders and the beginning of the month rush, for the 9 to 5 that becomes a 5 to 9. You don't clock out, and neither should your payments. Pay fast by network, always open for the dreamers, the doers, for you. From e-commerce to in-store payments and business funding, we have you covered. Sign up today at payfast.io.
Do you know what's hiding behind colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front-of-package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front-of-package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by 30 September.
Every year, more than 4,000 children lose their lives to a blood cancer or blood disorder. For over 30 years, Sunflower Day has provided hope to patients in their fight against blood cancers and blood disorders. This September, help celebrate Sunflower Month by making a monetary donation towards recruiting more potential lifesavers for patients and giving them a second chance at life. Visit www.dkms-africa.org to ensure patients get their fighting chance.
702 and corporates that care with Ekwele are talking about Ekwele's commitment to uplifting communities across South Africa.
From Ekwele's side, we get a lot of requests for water. I think that access to clean drinking and safe water has become a daily challenge for many people. So we get a lot of requests. We really deliver hundreds and thousands of bottles every year. Recently, we saw a need for a more longer-term solution, more sustainable water solutions. When we turned 25, we delivered 25 water tanks to 25 communities all over South Africa. And it was really heartwarming to see what a difference a tank can make. The first tank we put up was at a school in Groundville, and KwaZulu-Natal, and the principal told us now they don't need to close their school anymore because sometimes they had to close school early because they didn't have water.
Ekwele, making a positive impact one drop at a time. Learn more at ekwele.co.za. 702, let's walk the talk.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Morning, Ray. Can we please use that as a case study for all the delinquent government officials, departments that's not doing their work on the taxpayers' expense, the fraud, the corruption, and then we can decide for ourselves because they're just going to be suspended, they're going to be paid, and we are so duck of all this hachanyanyas. Please stop. Let our people just be taken care of, that need the care of that money that they are squandering.
Morning, this is Lerato from Pretoria.
So with this issue of social development, I can tell you that with most state-owned entities, the minute you raise and flag governance issues, you become the target. So they will find something to suspend you. They will find something to charge you with, and they will make it stick, unfortunately. That's what is going on out there. We've experienced it also as governance people. It's a mess.
Good morning, Ray, and to all 702 listeners. Ashton here, Rhodoport. Listening to your interview with Lumka Oliphant is shocking. So the department feels that they can spend whatever tax money they want, taxpayers' money they want, and if it gets leaked to the media, the person that leaked it gets into trouble, not the person who spent the taxpayers' money wrongfully. That's utter rubbish. No, ANC must go, man. They bloody feel entitled.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, this interview this morning, we invited the Director General onto the show. He said he would be on the show with us, and then he didn't answer his phone. Perhaps he thought we were just going to leave it. Perhaps he thought we weren't going to mention it and he wasn't going to be there. But here is the thing. It's out there. And yesterday, what we do as our producers and as presenters, we prep interviews, and we also look at other interviews as well. And I'd looked at an SABC interview from, I think, about a day ago with the Director General in the Department of Social Development, Peter Netshipale. And he had said to the SABC, no, it wasn't 3 million. No. It wasn't that amount. So I thought to myself this morning, I'm going to ask, is it that amount? And according to Lumka Oliphant, the DG has told other people since that it is that amount. So it is 3 million. But then why not come on to 702 to talk about it? That's the thing. Why not answer your phone? And it just enrages us as the public, as taxpayers, when 3 million rand is spent on a delegation going to the United States or to the UN for a conference, and that's fine. Go for your conference. You should be there. But it doesn't mean you have to stay in the top Manhattan hotels. I do think after this show and other shows as well, some serious questions are now being asked of the minister.
702. What's the question?
What's the question? Of course, brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win 1,000 Rand in cash now. You have to SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance. So we need an answer so we can then get the question. So let's have a look here. Let's go for Sam in Protea Mall. Hi, Sam. What is your answer today?
Good morning, Ray. The answer is 44.
Awesome. Good. Lovely, solid answer. And have you received a quote or got a quote with Outsurance?
Yes, I do, Ray.
Nicely done. Well done, Sam. You got yourself 1,000 Rands in cash. Right. So Sam has told us the answer is 44. What then is the question? Do give us a call. 011-883-0702. I'll take the fourth caller this morning.
EWN Sport.
What time is kickoff on Saturday morning with the All Blacks?
9:05. I stand to be corrected, but I remember seeing 9:05 somewhere because you always get confused because it's in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
So time difference and stuff. But the All Blacks coach Scott Robertson has selected Imoni Narawa on the wing and dropped Siva Reese altogether for Saturday's Rugby Championship clash with the Springboks, and explains why.
His aerial skills, his edge defence, his backfield coverage. Just those things that we know that are coming. It's coming. So, great opportunity for him and gives us good balance in that back three.
Elsewhere, Parker starts at 6, moving Vai to lock, Satiti's 8th man alongside Sevilla, who's playing in his 100th test. Springboks side will be named shortly, actually, right now at 7:45. You're welcome to phone in and tell us about it because I can't be on the Instagram checking while I'm telling you.
Who's going to be? Kanan Moody?
Yeah, we're expecting Kanan Moody to be included, and it's his first time in Auckland.
Yeah, it's my first time in New Zealand, so yeah, it's been quite a welcome. We're only every 5 minutes, and getting used to the jet lag has been tough. But yeah, I think it's a nice city. We had a couple of days off to walk around, and yeah, it's been good so far.
The US Open, Anisimova got revenge for the humbling Wimbledon final defeat she suffered at the hands of Swiatek earlier this year. Anisimova won the semi-final 6-4, 6-3 and admits she had to work hard.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, I was trying to fire myself up. I mean, she's one of the toughest players I've ever played. I knew I was going to have to dig really deep, and it was such a tough match. Like, I know the scoreline wasn't like 3 sets or anything, but it truly was a battle for me.
Anisimova will play Osaka in the semi-final. Osaka beat Mokova 6-4 and 7-6. Sinner cruised against Musetti 6-1, 6-4 and 6-2 and will meet Agiela Sim in the semi-final. Also today, South African KG Monchane competes in the wheelchair doubles semi-final. The Proteas are playing England in the second ODI today. Good and bad news. Tony de Zorzi is out for the series, the hamstring injury, but Matthew Brezka is back and available for selection. Proteas women named their squad for the World Cup starting September the 30th. There's no surprises, but it will be a first-time World Cup for Bosch, de Klerk, Shangazi and Dirksen. And the Springbok side has just dropped 33 seconds ago on the Instagram. So while I was reading, it started. I see Andre Pollard is the main player on the, they always drop the picture.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see why, and I don't understand. But he's
is
there
there.
at number 10, yes.
All right.
Jesse Creel captains the side, even though Sia Kolisi is 8th man.
Now that's interesting.
That's interesting, right? But you've got in
Wow.
chair Marks and Dutoy in the front three. Behind them, Etzebeth, Nokia and Van Staden, with Peter Steph Dutoy playing as well.
All right,
so he's
good.
really going with his big guns
Yeah.
here, is old Rassi.
Wow.
8th man, as I said, was Kolisi. Then in the back row, you've got Grant Williams, Andre Pollard and Kanan Moody, as well as Damien Delenda. And then Captain Jesse Creel and Cheslin Colby and Willie LaRue starts as well.
Okay.
So let's look at your bench as well, because we always look at the bench because the bench is always
Bomber
very
squad,
strong.
yeah.
And it is. Look at this. Jan Hendrik Wessels, Bowen Venter, Wilco Luit de Jager, Quagga Smith, Kobus Reynach, as well as Sasha, the girls' favourite, Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu, and then Ethan Hooker.
That's a great side, hey?
It's a
That's
great side.
really
It's the
nice
strongest
side.
possible side I think he possibly could have named.
I was worried
So-
after that earlier squad. Andre Pollard, I love him. I think he's great.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll
Yeah.
be good. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We've never won at Eden Park in the last
Yeah.
almost 100 years. But anyway, that's it as it breaks. Cindy Palooza, Eyewitness News Sport.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings.
8 to midnight.
An 81-year-old doctor from the Free State has admitted to putting a man in a shallow grave who were coming to, according to him, attack his farm. He claims that he buried that man because that man's body would have been eaten by the jackal. Not too long ago, we were dealing with a story of a farmer and his accomplices killing 2 black women and feeding them to the pigs. Things have been happening in the farm. And I hope that people like Donald Trump and his friends here in South Africa are watching these stories unfold.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
It's time to eat, dance and celebrate. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is serving up 2 days of world-class entertainment from international acts to SA's finest artists, alongside culinary masterpieces from the best local chefs. Browse fashion and arts, take part in live cooking demos, and soak up the festival's electric atmosphere. Saturday, the 20th of September, is for you and your crew, and then Sunday, the 21st of September, is for the family picnic vibes. DSTV is turning 30 and you're invited to the party. 1 ticket, endless experiences. Tickets at Ticketmaster. More on deliciousfestival.com.
Swing into spring with Hollywood Bet Spinner Zonke, where a sea of floral fun, epic adventures, and blooming beautiful games await. Reap red-hot riches and whimsical wins with our sparkling spring-themed slots. The season's luck is in full bloom, so dive in and grab your chance to unravel an endless supply of thrilling treasures and claim sensational rewards when you bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
The Checkers Hyper price drop is here. Save up to 40% on deals like Steakhouse Classic man-sized T-bone steak for 140 Rand per kilo. Save 20%. Coca-Cola Fanta Sprite or Stoney 300ml bottles, any 24-pack for 139 Rand. Save 50 Rand. And Cadbury Assorted Mini Chocolate Bags, any 7 for only 299 Rand. Save 191 Rand. Deals valid until this Sunday. Only at Checkers Hyper.
EWN Traffic.
Coming up to 10 minutes to 8 o'clock, and this EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland with smart tech and striking design. It's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. More Swane delays. What's going on there?
Well, on the N4 West, we've got an accident, Ray. It's right near the Proof Plus interchanges, causing delays. And if you're traveling in the southerly direction of the N1, another accident seen. This one is right near Linwood Road, causing delays also as you come out of the Proof Plus interchange. And then if you continue making your way towards the Flying Saucer interchange, do expect some delays here and there due to peak time pressure. R80 East Mabubane Highway backed up towards Eskiam Pahlele exit, and of course traffic lights are still out of order in Centurion at Roy Scroll Road and Eastdorp Road. They're also out of order in Groenkloof at Christian de Wet Road and Hufeus Road. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance.
Grand!
Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights.
Grand!
Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby.
Grand!
It's even got massage seats.
Obergrand!
Visit opel.co.za for more.
702.
What's the question?
What's the questions brought to you by Outsurance? It's your chance to win up to 2,000 Rands in cash now. Right, we did get a question, or an answer rather, from Sam, and his answer was, it's a very easy one, 44. I said I would take the fourth caller because it's 44. Fourth call is Lindiwe. Hi, Lindiwe. Good morning. Welcome to 702.
Morning, Ray. How are you?
I'm good. Let's see if you're good, because if I said to you 44, what then is the question for 2,000 Rand?
The question would be, how old is Beyonce Carter turning today?
You're. Okay. Hold on. Do you have a quote with Outsurance?
Yes, I do.
Okay, play the whole thing, KG. There we go. There we go. 2,000 Rands on its way to Lindy Ware. Yeah, I asked you to play it. Now he's playing it. Oh, the single ladies. Beyonce turning 44 years old today. And earlier on, she spoke about how she unwinds. So I thought I'd put it to you, 702 Land. How do you unwind? I'd like to hear from you. She says she goes to a private place, a very quiet place. How do you unwind? 072 702 1702.
Outsurance will do all they can to save you money on your car insurance premium. But what if they just can't? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. That's right, just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Sandton Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
When it comes to protecting your workforce, trust the workwear brand that has been protecting workers for over 150 years, Sweetall. Sweetall has overalls and uniform solutions for every industry, so your team is safe, comfortable, and ready to tackle any challenge. Visit our new Boksburg showroom, shop A1 Atlas Road, Westwood, Boksburg, or go to sweetall.com today. Sweetall, we never let you down. Superior protective workwear since 1871.
In a world where everything is instant, some things are worth slowing down for. You took the time to build a life of distinction. Every moment, every milestone, every decision. At Indwe, we take the time to understand your world and craft insurance solutions to protect it. Because true peace of mind is the greatest luxury of all. The right insurance starts with a conversation. It starts with helloindwe.co.za. Indwe Risk Services is an authorized financial services provider.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Morning, Kabazela.
Hey, Ray. Good morning to you, buddy.
I love your topic today. I'll never make my child do that. And we say that as parents because, what our parents did to us from, once in a while, and then all of a sudden we did the same thing. So tell us more.
Yeah, so, if you think back to your youth and growing up at home, there were certain things that your parents would ask you to do, and you would die inside. You were like, no, I don't want to do it. But you have to do it. And, maybe you thought to yourself, when I have my own kids, I will never ask them to do that thing because it felt like trauma. So there's this guy on TikTok. He's done a parody video. So he's sitting on his couch in his lounge, and the TV remote is within reaching distance on the coffee table in the lounge, and he kind of, stretches out to get it, and he thinks to himself, no, wait. In my childhood, I was called to get the remote. So he yells to his son, hey! And the son comes around and says, yes, sir, can I help you? He says, please pick up the remote and change the channel for me. No. Can you believe, right? So the kid does it. And then the video ends. But so many people are commenting and saying, you got to keep the generational trauma going. We promise to continue the nightmare, etc., etc. So I wanted to know those things that your parents did when you were young that you hated, and you thought, no, I'm never going to do it, but you do it. You make them do it. I remember my granddad always used to make me take his socks off. No. He had these long knee-high socks that, the gents back in the day used to wear. Yeah? And then, he had a bit of a mkaba as well, so he couldn't really bend down and take his own socks off. So when I was there, Jonathan, my boy, please take my socks off. Okay. So I will never, not that I wear long socks, but if I did, I would never ask my child to take my socks off.
Kabazela, I will speak to you in about 20 years from now, and I'm sure the conversation will be like, youngster, take my socks off now.
Yeah, I may have a mkaba, but I don't think I'll have long socks on.
There we go. So we'd like to know from you this morning, when you were a kid, what were the things your parents asked you to do for them? You didn't like it, but now you do the same thing with your kids. 072 702 1702.
702.
702. Feedback.
With Siamtanda Matiso.
Sia, you've had a very busy morning this morning, haven't you?
It has been, thinking about the things that I won't allow my kids to do for me that my mom did, is waking them up at 7 o'clock or in this 6 o'clock in the morning on weekends to do spring cleaning. I will let them sleep it out, and then when they wake up, they know that they have to do those chores. But waking them up early during the weekends, I just didn't know. They're tired as well. They've been doing homework, assignments, they've been doing lots of schoolwork for me to wake them up over the weekend. So that's one thing I'm not going to do. And also using ice cream containers to put food.
Really?
No, we're not doing that in my house. We're buying lunch boxes to put leftovers on. So those are the things that I'm not carrying on.
We still use ice cream
no,
containers.
Ray,
We do.
Stop it.
Okay, I'm not going to encourage anybody to do anything. Okay. I do remember Saturday mornings, that horrible vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
At 7:15. You're trying to sleep,
sleep.
and you go, it's Saturday morning,
Yeah.
right? Time to get out of bed. I will never, ever do that with my children whatsoever.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay.
It has to stop there. Anyways, more of reactions when it comes to what's that thing that you just bought at the store and you damaged or you broke. People talked about whiskey. One person was invited in a party, and the moment they got out of the store, they broke a whiskey bottle. One broke their expensive fitness watch. Another damaged their car the moment they drove off the showroom. So those were the reactions they gave us. And also to Mutewa's questions talking about brand, what is that one thing that you're not willing to compromise on, even if the money is too tight? Listen,
What's yours?
Mine has to be, perfumes.
Okay. No,
I can't do that without it. But many people mentioned that. They mentioned also skincare routine. I also agree with that. I mean, skincare products. Some talked about PlayStations. I didn't know this thing. What do you call it? The controller.
The control, yes.
They don't compromise when it comes to that. I'm like, really? Like,
no, but you
is
can't,
it that
because
deep?
It is. Those controllers vibrate and they do all sorts of wonderful things when you're blowing things up. It's quite fun, really.
But the surprising one was MultiChoice and Netflix, the streaming sites, because they are fearing like missing out on like those movies or those reality TV shows on Moja Love. So it's been an interesting one, Ray, and I can't wait to hear more.
Keep them coming. 072-702-1702. But it's just gone 8 o'clock, and this Eyewitness News is brought to you by Lottoland. Lottoland changes lives.
This is EWN.
Loved ones gather to bid the formidable Tidi Madia final farewell, and a businessman is reunited with his family after police kill his alleged kidnapper. Good morning, I'm Aurélie Kalinga. Friends, colleagues and loved ones of renowned broadcast journalist Tidi Madia will gather in Germiston from this hour to bid her a final farewell. Madia died in hospital last week following a short illness. At the time of her passing, she was the associate editor for politics here at Eyewitness News. Lauren Isaacs has more.
It's been a week of mourning and celebrating the life of Tidi Madia. During various memorial services held in her honor over the past few days, bold, passionate and caring were just some of the words friends, colleagues and loved ones used to describe Madia. She was known for her fierce style of journalism, her patriotism, contagious laughter and fighting spirit, as her friend and colleague Clement Manyatela shared at a memorial service in Sandton earlier this week.
In our friend circle, we called her Mantwa. Mantwa means a fighter, because my girl was always ready for a fight. In fact, she has a pinned tweet of this naughty but content little doll. And the tagline there says, "Me at peace after I chose violence." And Sidi pinned that and said, "Bekele beke," meaning, "I'm ready any day."
Mourners have been encouraged to dress in bold and colourful attire in tribute to Madia and her love for colour. Lauren Isaacs, Eyewitness News.
A businessman has been reunited with his family following a shootout between police and the alleged mastermind behind his kidnapping. The businessman was found in a shack in Alexandra shortly after midnight. He was rescued after a suspect was shot dead during a confrontation with officers in Kempton Park last night. The police's Athlenda Mate says the suspect goes by the nickname Dollarman.
The SAPS anti-kidnapping task team was actively searching for a kidnapped businessman who was kidnapped outside his business premises in Gauteng in July. When they identified the suspect as the possible kidnapper, they have been tracing him for quite some time.
Mate says he was on Mozambique's most wanted persons database for several kidnappings for ransom cases. Here in South Africa, he was linked to at least 5 kidnapping for ransom cases, as well as other cases of housebreaking, carjacking and the possession of unlicensed firearms. Calls are mounting for the suspension of a senior Stellenbosch municipality official accused of making racist remarks. A widely circulated video shows senior human resource manager Alexander Kannemeyer making racially charged remarks targeting white employees. In the video, he admits to pushing illegal hiring practices to exclude white men. Stellenbosch Municipality says it's investigating the matter. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Political parties and trade union solidarity are calling on Stellenbosch Mayor Jeremy Furser to suspend Alexander Kannemeyer in the wake of discriminatory remarks he allegedly made in a video that was leaked. Legal representative at Solidarity Etienne Peel says decisive action must be taken against Kannemeyer.
Having Mr. Kannemeyer at the workplace, given the two videos that were leaked, is simply untenable.
The Good Party's Robin Hendrikse says Kannemeyer's remarks are deeply disturbing.
Racial engineering, whether in favor of or against any group, cannot be tolerated in any sphere of government.
The FF Plus also added its voice, saying it's shocking that a senior official will be willing to compromise service delivery to pursue transformation targets. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
The Western Cape government has filed papers with the Constitutional Court to challenge the validity of the NHI Act. The provincial government says this is to defend the constitutional rights of residents to take part in the lawmaking process and be heard by Parliament. It maintains the universal health policy was rushed without giving people a chance to comment on the legislation, which was signed into law last year. Babalondenze reports.
The Western Cape government filed its challenge to the NHI on Tuesday and wants the legislation declared unconstitutional and invalid. Western Cape Health and Wellness MEC Mirelle Wenger says the implementation of the NHI Act will involve a major and complex restructuring of healthcare services in South Africa, including the services which are currently provided by provincial governments. She adds that the passage of the bill required extensive and meaningful public participation. The provincial government believes that the National Council of Provinces failed to consider the views of the people of the Western Cape when it deliberated on the NHI bill and did not meet its obligation to facilitate meaningful public participation. Wenger says the NHI is likely one of the most significant and controversial statutes in South African democratic history, which was rushed through the NCOP without considering or deliberating on any substantive input arising from the public participation. Premier Ellen Winde added that the province is standing up for the right of every South African to have a meaningful voice in how laws are made. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
And a U.S. federal jury has ordered Google pay about $425 million for gathering information from smartphone app use, even when people opted for privacy settings. The jury verdict came at the end of the trial in San Francisco. Plaintiffs argued that Google intercepted, tracked, collected and sold users' mobile app activity data regardless of what privacy settings they chose. Gold is trading at $3,526.06 an ounce. The rand's at 17.70 to the dollar, 23.77 to the pound, 20.63 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.10 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N17 West. This is between the Carnival City entrance and the R21 due to roadworks while traveling. On the N12 West, we've got an accident reported right near Rondebolt Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Snake Road. There's also an accident seen on the R24 West near Edenville Road. Delays all the way towards the Gidulis interchange.
And in your sport, the Springboks have named Jesse Creel as captain, even though Siya Kolisi is back from injury in a side that has a handful in changes. Snyman, Mostert and De Preer have all been dropped. Well, the All Blacks resist making major changes, but they've dropped Siva Rees. Proteas are playing England in the second ODI. That starts at 2 p.m. this afternoon at Lord's. And the US Open Women's semi-final today. First up, it'll be Sabalenka.
Gauteng's weather's fine. Johannesburg starting at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 14 and 31. Vereeniging 11 and 30. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. Friends, colleagues and loved ones of renowned broadcast journalist Tsidi Madia will gather in Germiston from this hour to bid her a final farewell.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
The famous Super Lotto draw takes place tonight with a mouth-watering payout of 957 million rand. All you have to do is choose 6 lucky numbers and place your bets on the Super Lotto and Lottoland at lottoland.co.za. Will you be the next big winner on Lottoland or place your bet now? Lottoland changes lives, you see.
No person under the age of 18 years permitted to gamble. Lottoland South Africa is licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. National Responsible Gambling Program toll-free council line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
It is 9 minutes past 8 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning. CD Madea, and just listening to that story in Eyewitness News, and for me, it's still so surreal. It still doesn't drive home. I got in this morning, and just before the show, I just thought to myself, where's CD? Is she at her desk? Because she would always wave and say hi, and, I don't know. I think for many people, it's just difficult to come to terms with what has happened. But today, of course, she's been laid to rest in Germiston, at the Catholic Church there. And, Amma, when you came to work this morning, I said, you're looking really spiffy this morning because you're going to Germiston.
No, I'm not going to Germiston. I'm dressed
not?
This way because I'm honoring her legacy. I think she would have wanted me to show up, or anyone else to show up in a respectable way. And so I just thought, let me be in spirit with the others, because it would have been nice to go and bid her farewell, but I can still do it in spirit. And of course, you can still watch on YouTube. EWN will be streaming the funeral service from anytime from now. It will be live on YouTube, so you can go there and be in spirit with us.
Yeah, the memorial service about a day or so ago, and I was so taken aback. So many people came. So many people. I parked my car at Sandton City. I walked across here because I knew there was no parking, and I was right. Even the Metro Police were outside making sure that people could park on the pavement and nobody was getting fined. So absolute respect and a beautiful send-off for CD Madea. Really it is. Now, things we've been discussing this morning. The Social Development DG, Peter Netshipale, he was a no-show on our show earlier on. There are all sorts of questions about the 3 million rand that was paid for that delegation going to New York. Also, as well, we spoke to the now suspended Chief of Communications, Lumka Oliphant, about that. So, love your reaction on that as well. Mateo, talking about things, we don't have money, okay? Nobody's got money now, but things you just can't do without. I didn't ask you yours.
For me, it will always be the obvious things. It's always a good cut of steak and the biltong. For me, the meat, I can't let go, man. I've been trying. The team, we're all on a health mission, and the thing that I can't drop even now is the good cuts of meat and some biltong. I've tried the ostrich steaks, as they've said, and they're tender. They're good.
They're good.
They're good. They're good.
Okay, so that's the things you can't do without.
Yeah, no, the first on the list definitely is going to be good cuts of meat and some biltong.
Oh, I love it. Love it, love it. And then Kabazela asking, when you were a kid, were there things your parents asked you to do for them and you said, I will never do that with my kids, and you're doing it? 072 702 1702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Good morning, Ray. Yeah, I used to hate opening the gate for my mom coming back from work, and she would not be bothered. She would arrive, stop by the gate, and just put the hooter on, and just in case you didn't hear, go a little bit louder and longer. I hate the hooter up until today. I'll never do that to my kids. I need a gate that has got a remote system that I'll open for myself. There's no way. I felt abused. I felt like every time comes, the time comes, I feel like I wish I was sleeping, but it wouldn't help. If I was to sleep, she would hoot up until I wake up. Oh my goodness. I hated that so much.
Morning, Ray. My uncle, I think he was in matric, yes, and I was a baby. So he was, in his bedtime, he would sell ice cream. So he used to make me wash his handkerchief. Oh, Ray, that slippery handkerchief. Oh, my gosh. Oh, because I just wanted this ice cream. I had to do it. And another thing that I hated, the elders, those drunkard elders who used to come visit, and then they will come to you. You have to hold them with their ears and kiss them. That alcohol smell.
Good morning, Ray and the team. The things that I will never let my children do is to come and rub my back. You know, when I was young, my mom used to call me and she'd take out the blouse and say, please rub my back. And I would rub her back, and then she says, oh, yeah, okay, thank you. But now, come to think of it now, I won't even let my wife do that to my kids. It's me in Pretoria.
Hi, Ray. Look, man, my kids are going to continue waking up at 6 or 5 o'clock in the morning. There's something about waking up around those times, you know, and getting things done early. This new woke parenthood, it doesn't cut it for me. And I feel my kids, if I were to be like that, it won't work.
Hi, good morning, Ray and Nora here in Heidelberg. Asking your kids to do things you can actually just do yourself. This friend of mine, we were sitting in a lounge, having some pap, eating with our hands. Then when we were done, she calls her son to come and take the plate away to the kitchen. The son takes the plate to the kitchen and then she follows him to go and wash her hands. She's right behind him to go and wash her hands. And I ask her, then why did you call him to come and fetch your plate when you're going there? And she was horrified. I mean, she's doing it unconsciously. She's like, oh my God, you are right. So yeah, parents.
Yeah, parents. I mean, the things that we do, because Mateo, we are parents. We are parents. And we are guilty of some of those things.
Yeah, I'm still happy to do those things. In hindsight, you know, when I was growing up, when I was very young, my dad used to come in from work and take off his heavy leather Flosham shoes or Crooked & Jones, and I was supposed to take his shoes and take it to his room, come back with the slippers so he would be more comfortable, right?
Okay.
I hated doing it.
Really? But that's very sweet, actually.
But I make my son do it today, and I laugh at myself
Do
sometimes.
you really?
Yeah, because it teaches them to be responsible for something. And now I've noticed with his own shoes in his room, like they're all lined up in a row, and he puts them really neatly.
Oh, that's lovely.
So I now in hindsight, I realize why I was doing it. I'm sure he enjoyed it. He's like, I gave birth to a son. Why can't he just run around and get my shoes? But I realize in hindsight, it teaches you responsibility at a very, very young age.
It also teaches you respect as well.
Yeah.
Which is lacking in many households these days. Let's take a call. Now, Mateo, you were asking earlier on things you won't compromise on. We don't have any money, but there's that one thing that you're going to buy. Boy in Randburg. Hi, good morning. Welcome to 702.
Thank you, Ray, for taking my call. It's Bui. I'm doing powerlifting. I won't compromise on going to the gym. That powerlifting has ended me. I'm now a Master 2 for South Africa. We are doing the World Masters I'm lifting on the 13th. I'm one of the 6 women in the world that will be competing. I'm competing with 1 from Canada, 1 from Britain, 2 from India. So I'm happy because I sacrificed, but now I have made South Africa on the map, and I'm enjoying it.
I'm hoping also that you have sponsors now, somebody who can pay for you. I hope that's happened.
No, I'm raising it from my funds, from my family. Yeah, we don't. Yes, so I sacrificed.
Wow, boy, well done, well done. That's an amazing story, that really is. Boy, well done, and congratulations for continuing to put South Africa on the map, because there's so many champions like yourself, from a Drickers to yourself to the box to everybody who's just doing it for our country. But that's why you need sponsorship. That's why somebody needs to say, just concentrate on your powerlifting. It's exactly that. Right, let's take one more call. Bachle, hi, good morning. What did you break after you just bought it?
Morning, man. Hope you're good. I just bought a brand new motorcycle.
Oh no.
And I drove out the dealership. I'm feeling quite pleased with myself. I get to the first robot, and for some weird reason, I haven't adjusted to the height. because I'm not fairly tall.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to put my foot down, and the road is uneven. And here's the thing, just falls on the side.
No.
Damaging the mirror, the handguards, the side fairings, and I'm just there, like,
no,
wanting to cry at the intersection.
Wow.
And then there's this embarrassment of having to push it up now with everyone watching you. And you're like,
I have to ask, did you go back to the dealership and say, hi guys, me again? Or did you just go home?
You just go home. You know the dealership's going to slap you with another coat. You just go home.
Hey, wow. That's a shocker. An absolute shocker. Luckily, thank you so much. Oh, man, my heart breaks for you. But these things happen. These things happen. But tell you, I got myself a new car many, many years ago. I went away on holiday, and there was a low-lying wall, like one of those walls that are like, I don't know, 50 centimeters high. And I pulled the car to one side, and I clipped the entire front of this car.
Oh.
It was a brand new, I think, Opel at that point. And my wife looked
How
at me.
bad was the damage?
No, it was bad. It was bad. The whole front sort of plastic thing came off.
Oh,
the whole
wow.
thing came off. And I looked at her, and she looked at me. I said, I'm going to go outside and put it back on again. And we're not going to talk about it. And that was day one of the holiday. And we didn't speak about it. This thing just hung there for the rest of the holiday. We did not speak about it.
So you didn't let her give you a talking to?
Yeah,
you just shut her down?
Yeah, I looked at her and was like, yeah, I know. And I just we're not going to talk about this ever. So now we've just told everyone about it.
Good morning, Ray and the crew. Lovely Thursday. Oh gosh, I broke a bottle of whiskey on a soccer Saturday. You know what, ne? I haven't forgiven myself to date. I think I was very careless. Who breaks whiskey? A bottle of whiskey? God. Yeah, no, it still hurts to date. Shop.
Yo, you know, Raymond, when I was still a pretty young guy, didn't make a lot of money, my sister was kind enough to give me her car when she bought a new car. It wasn't a new car, but it was a big improvement on my car. And then I went to her house to thank her, and as I was driving home, I rolled it.
No.
Wrote it off completely. I didn't have that car maybe for 30 minutes. From Rustenburg.
Oh, no. I mean, what do? You go home and say, hi, I'm about that car of yours. I've just rolled it and written it off. How do you even start the conversation?
I'm sure the sister was worried about him more than anything.
I don't know about that so much. I don't know. Hey, you did what to my car?
At least you're still alive.
At least.
EWN Traffic.
21 minutes past 8 o'clock. Right, Amal, traffic has been one or two incidents this morning.
Yeah, it's been busy, Ray. We've got those roadworks taking place in Boksburg along the N17 West between Carnival City and R21 Rondebolt Road. While traveling in Boksburg, we've got an accident reported. This one is right near Rondebolt Road as well. It's causing delays coming out of Snake Road. Please be on the lookout there. And there's another scene that's been reported in Edenville on the R24 West. It's right near Edenville Road. It's causing delays, and there's also slow-moving traffic on the M1 North between Harton Drive and Grayston Drive due to peak time delays. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702.
The Worldview.
And we say good morning to Vicky Turner. Hi, Vicky.
Good morning.
Right, here's a question.
We'll start with.
Yes, here's a question for
Go
you.
on.
Discovering what really goes on in the mind of Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. And early this morning, I was on social media, and they've been discussing offline how to live until 150 or perhaps be immortal. I mean, these two.
Isn't it scary stuff? Yeah, this unguarded moment was actually caught during a live stream of the major military parade that we saw in Beijing. A hot mic, as it's called, caught Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin talking about, as you say, organ transplants and immortality. The Chinese and Russian presidents made their way towards a raised platform in Tiananmen Square, and you could hear them saying that, over and over organ transplants can make you live forever. This is what Putin said to Xi Jinping. He said, biotechnology is continuously developing. Human organs can be continuously transplanted. The longer you live, the younger you become, and you can even achieve immortality. To which Xi Jinping replied, yes, I understand that in a few years' time, people will be living till 150. How scary is that? I think they've missed out one minor detail, though. You can replace organs, that's true, although it's not as easy as they, say it is. But what about body tissue? And what about your skeleton? They still age.
That is bizarre. That is just such a bizarre conversation. And also, who really wants to live to be 150? There's that question too. But I think Vladimir Putin perhaps does and wants to continue ruling until he's 150. Here's a question for you. Is freedom of speech under threat in the UK?
It feels like it is a little at the moment. I'm sure you've heard this story. The Father Ted creator, Graham Linehan, is actually now preparing to take action against the Metropolitan Police after being arrested by armed officers at Heathrow Airport over a series of gender-critical tweets. Now, this was some arrest, to be fair. 5 armed officers greeting Mr. Linehan as he came off a plane from Arizona and then accusing him of inciting violence in relation to 3 posts that he made on X in April while living in the US. Linehan has shared screenshots of the posts that he said he was arrested for, and now his lawyers say that they're considering suing the Metropolitan Police over the unlawfulness of the arrest, the unlawful restriction on his free speech by banning him from X while on bail, and the alleged defamation that he was inciting violence. We have had some comment now from the top. The Met Chief Policeman, Sir Mark Rowley, says his officers are in an impossible position and should not be policing toxic culture war debates. The Prime Minister has also waded in now, saying the focus of the police should be on the most serious issues, which I think we all agree with.
Yeah, you're quite right, quite right. Then a story we've been talking about this morning. In fact, we put it out to 702 Land. Have you ever bought something, Vicky, and all of a sudden you dropped it or you drove the car out of the dealership and you had an accident? We heard about a motorcycle now. Has that ever happened to you? Because there's this luxury yacht story.
The most I've ever damaged was a new TV, and it wasn't damaged irreparably, thankfully. But yeah, this yacht, imagine splashing out $940,000 on a new luxury yacht, only for it to turn over and sink just 15 minutes after being launched into the water. The owner and the crew had to then swim back to shore. It all happened just off the coast of northern Turkey. It's a beautiful boat. You can see all the pictures online, and it sinks. It sinks very, very quickly. There are a few clues yet as to why the yacht did sink. I think I may have a bit of a clue here. It was called the Dolce Vento, which translates to gentle breeze or sweet wind. Could it have been a gust that caught the crew off guard? Maybe it was.
Wow.
Rescue teams are now trying to salvage the wreck to find out, what is happening. But I can imagine there are a few red faces in that shipyard this morning.
Yeah, a few engineers walking around going, I think we've messed up somewhat. Vicky Turner, good to chat to you once again. Vicky in for Adam Gilchrist on the Worldview this morning.
EWN Business.
8:27 is your time. SA households still under pressure. Interest rates still high.
Yeah, and this is from the Altron FinTech Household Resilience Index that painted a grim picture for the state of finances in South African households. For the first quarter of 2025, it shows that households are still under significant pressure. This is despite a modest 2.5% improvement, at least year on year. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the index dropped by 4.2%. Now, compared to the pre-pandemic period, the household financial situation has improved but remains slightly lower than the GDP growth rate of the country over the same period. Interest rates have gone up, fuel prices have shot up, as well as electricity prices that have eaten away at the value of our rands. Now, unemployment, including discouraged work seekers, are further compounding issues for South African households. So that particular index pointing to the higher interest rates and how a cutting of interest rates could boost the economy and in turn South African households.
Here's a story I wanted to ask you about. Aspen Pharmacare reporting R1 billion in losses. What's going on there?
Well, the major contention there is a contractual dispute with one of the companies that it's operating with. Aspen Pharmacare reporting a significant drop in its financial performance for the year ending in June. The company says its manufacturing performance and intangible assets impairments have been impacted by a material contractual dispute. The dispute is for a confidential contract related to the group's manufacturing and technology agreement with a customer of an mRNA product used mostly in vaccines. Operating profit plummeting 79% to 1.4 billion rand, primarily due to that major manufacturing dispute. Revenue declining by 3%, while normalized earnings before interest also fell by 15%. The company is planning to be boosted by the high demand for diabetes and obesity drugs in the country. Company has deals with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk serving as a local selling agent and third-party manufacturer.
Sure, okay. How are the markets? How's the rand?
The markets rebounded on Wednesday. Ray, the all-share up 348 points, boosted by the major player there, the mining sector shares. They were up 3.5%. There were wins for Valterra, the platinum producer, up more than 8%. Harmony up 8.5%, with the likes of DRD Gold and Sibanye Stillwater also posting some good gains yesterday. In terms of the rand, 17 rand 69 this morning, clawing back some gains slowly against the US dollar. It's now at 20 rand 62 cents against the euro and at 23 rand 76 cents against the British pound. The price of gold might be down by 0.5%, but still around those record levels at $3,532 an ounce, while platinum is down 2% at $1,406. Brent crude at $67.11 a barrel. Stephen Krotis with more this afternoon.
Thank you, Mateo. Just gone 8:30, and Orly Kalenga is at the Eyewitness News Desk. Orly, what's making news at this hour?
Thanks, Ray. Good morning. Friends, colleagues and loved ones of renowned broadcast journalist Sidi Madia are gathering in Germiston to bid her a final farewell. Madia died in hospital last week following a short illness. At the time of her passing, she was the associate editor for politics here at Eyewitness News. Lauren Isaacs has more.
It's been a week of mourning and celebrating the life of Sidi Madia. During various memorial services held in her honour over the past few days, bold, passionate and caring were just some of the words friends, colleagues and loved ones used to describe Madia. She was known for her fierce style of journalism, her patriotism, contagious laughter and fighting spirit, as her friend and colleague Clement Manyatela shared at a memorial service in Sandton earlier this week.
In our friend circle, we called him Mantwa. Mantwa means a fighter, because my girl was always ready for a fight. In fact, she has a pinned tweet of this naughty but content little doll. And the tagline there says, "Me at peace after I chose violence." And Sidi pinned that and said, "Bekele beke," meaning, "I'm ready any day."
Mourners have been encouraged to dress in bold and colourful attire in tribute to Madia and her love for colour. Lauren Isaacs, Eyewitness News.
Western Cape police are investigating a case of murder and attempted murder after a man was killed and a 4-year-old girl shot in the stomach. Police say the victim was approached by a suspect yesterday who quickly opened fire, killing him. The little girl caught a stray bullet and was taken to hospital. Police spokesperson Malcolm Puya.
In the process, a 4-year-old girl was caught in crossfire and sustained a gunshot wound to the abdomen. She was transported to a medical facility for treatment.
Atlanta's CPF's Noel Kluter says the girl is in a stable condition.
The people is shocked. I can tell you that much. We condemn this totally. We as a CPF are engaging with the community. We're launching some programs to make the people more aware.
Childline South Africa is concerned at the high pregnancy rate among minors in the country. The Eastern Cape government yesterday revealed over 100 children between the ages of 10 and 14 gave birth between April and July this year. In the same period, close to 5,000 teenagers also gave birth. Provincial police have since opened several cases against adults accused of raping minors. Childline's Ndumisile Cele says this is common across the country.
The numbers you are quoting are alarming, and this is the situation we have been experiencing for the past few years. And obviously, we encourage communities, professionals, because these young people go through the hands of professionals to report such matters.
Ezemvelo KwaZulu-Natal Wildlife says it has no intention of refencing its property after a camper was attacked by a hyena at its Cape Vidal campsite. Farmer Nicholas Holtz was viciously attacked by 2 hyenas while asleep in his tent at the weekend. He says his leg and face were injured in the attack.
The bigger one latched onto my ankle, and as I sat up to see why I was in so much pain, the smaller one bit me in the face.
Ezemvelo KZN Wildlife spokesperson Musantambo says there have been 3 hyena attacks in the park in the last 15 years and 2 more last month.
There are hyenas, 2 or 3, that often roam around the campsite. We'll try and capture those with a view of maybe translocating them. The campsite is fenced, but for the elephants, not for maybe say any other animals.
Ntambo says they intend educating visitors not to leave food outside the campsite. Gauteng's fine today, highs between 29 and 31 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the N12 West. This is between the Atlas Road off-ramp and the R21. That's due to an accident. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the R24 West between Barber Road and the N12 merge due to another accident scene.
The top story: friends, colleagues and loved ones of renowned broadcast journalist Tidi Madia are this morning gathering in Germiston to bid her a final farewell.
Payment solutions should run with your business wherever and whenever it happens. With PayFast by Network, you can accept payments online, in-store or on the move with one simple, secure system. And when business picks up, our Easy Advance funding gives you flexibility to move even faster. Always open, for every hour, for every order, for you. Sign up today at payfast.io. PayFast has partnered with TymeBank to offer funding to your business.
Spring has sprung at Stodell's Garden Centres. Transform your garden with 50% off on a massive variety of plants and also 50% off a wide selection of pots. Experience the colour, happiness and buzz of spring when you shop at Stodell's Garden Centres. Visit Stodell's at Bryanston, Ferndale or Menlo Park and add a burst of colour to your garden. Stodell's, create happiness. Offer ends 7 September. T's and C's apply.
When you're uploading massive files, does it really matter what your internet's download speed is? With business class internet, you get a connection that's as fast going up as it is down. Your company deserves business class internet because just reboot the router isn't a business strategy. Find reliability at vodacombusiness.co.za. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Further together. Vodacom Business.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil, a global moment of solidarity, equality and sustainability with Africa at the centre. Tune in tomorrow between 6 and 9 a.m. for the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 Summit. Get all the latest news, views, insights and breakthroughs from the summit as it happens. The G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorised financial services and credit provider.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hey guys, good morning. Speaking of one thing that my parents will task me with, of which I did not enjoy doing it at all, it's braaiing. Braaiing, red meat, beef for that matter. I'm allergic to beef. And my dad every month end will say, Marshall, you know it's about that time. I don't like it. I don't even like the smell of it. Marshall and Foyes.
Hey, Ray. Hey, my man. My mom used to make me cut
corns and, excess skin in between her toes.
Oh, no.
Up to today, I do not touch feet. I do not touch feet. And I will definitely not do that to any of my kids. And even every single partner that I've had, they know I don't touch feet. To this day, I don't touch feet. No. Disgusting.
Well, I think asking the kids to do some really annoying tasks, it's more needed now because they're always glued on the screens and whatnot. So a good instruction to get them up and be active, it's not a bad thing. Let the drama continue.
Good morning, Ray and the 702 lenders. Talking about the things that I would not let my children do. I grew up in a family house and I was the eldest one. So every time my late grandfather would have to leave for work around 3 a.m., he would actually wake me up to go and lock the door. And after that, I would not sleep further than that because already it's in the morning. And I got stuck with that routine for the rest of my life. So yeah, it's something that I would rather allow my wife to do instead of allowing my children to do that. Thank you, then. Nice show.
So when I was younger, when my mum used to come back home after groceries, she will open the garage door or let me open the garage door, and then or she will hoot before that, let me come and get the groceries out. So today I'm doing exactly the same with my kids. Sometimes I don't even take packets because I've got 4 kids, and as I arrive, I'll just start hootering. Pop, 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 pop. And they must come running. They must get the packets.
You see, that's not so bad. That's okay. I mean, Cindy, you would do that. You would like pop, and your kids would come get the groceries. I'm sure they would.
My mom used to do that, actually.
Yeah? Do you do that?
No, because, Ray,
Yes.
the Checker 60 or the Pick and Pay ASAP or the Woolworths Dash person goes beep, beep, and then my kids go outside.
Oh, you do it that way now.
So I'm not doing it, they're doing it. But if I do have groceries, 9 times out of 10, they're with me because they never leave me alone and they will help me carry them inside. Yeah.
And they also do they order the groceries or do you?
No, they can't order the groceries.
No, because they then get stuff for themselves, you see.
No.
There's a reason for that.
No. They don't order the groceries yet. So that's where we are. But I do remember my mum doing that when we were kids. She would hoot and then we would go out to help her.
Do you make your kids do things they don't want to do? And perhaps one day they'll do the same thing.
Isn't everything you ask your child to do, so if you disrupt whatever they are currently doing, whatever you ask them to do, it can be as easy as anything. It'll end up being something they don't want to do.
I'm still battling with the dishes. I just can't get anyone to do the dishes.
I don't
know one.
But you know what the thing is? Okay, so the dishes is a funny one for me. So we've got to obviously teach our children how to do dishes, so they need to know so that when they go into the world, they're good, rounded adults. But like as adults, we don't even like to do the dishes.
Yeah, but it's your time. When you're kids, it's your time. Well, it's not in my household. It's like I'd have better luck parting the Red Sea than getting that one right.
EWN Sport.
All right, so here's the thing. Jesse Kriel is our captain.
Right, so
why in your opinion not Siya Kolisi?
I have no idea. Maybe because he's missed too many games, but it is weird for me. Maybe he's turned around and said to Rassie, I don't know. I don't want to speculate because it's a broadcasting platform and that's how conspiracy theories start. But maybe he has said, I don't want to the responsibility of it for this little bit. I don't know, because we're trying to limp all these players to the next World Cup, right?
Sure.
So let's see. I mean, Jesse's not doing a bad job. So he's the captain tomorrow, even though Siya Kolisi's back and starts at 8th man against the All Blacks in the Rugby Championship on Saturday. Etzebeth and Pieter-Steph du Toit also starting ahead of Snyman and Mostert to drop out altogether, along with Jean-Luc Dupré. The wings have swapped. Caden Moody will now be on the left. Colby's on the right. Willie Leroux, who was a late withdrawal in Cape Town, starts. Despite the pressure, the All Blacks coach Scott Robertson hasn't made major changes for the match. That is Ardie Severe's 100th test. The big talking point being CV Reece being dropped. Here's what Robertson expects from the box.
We focused all on ourselves because we know what's coming for them. You can expect unexpected, and also where the ball's going to get returned to you. So yes and no, but we just know the ferocity of the test. That's what we've acknowledged. How the physical contact and games are won off that, and the ability to do it over and over again. So getting ready for that part of the game.
Australia recalled captain Harry Wilson and fly half Tom Linach for their clash with Argentina. Wilson was injured in the opening game against the Box but returns at 8th man, moving Valentini to blindside flanker, and Hooper replaces Skelton, who has returned to his club. The Proteas take on England in a second ODI today. The match being played at Lord's starts at 2 p.m. There's no De Zorzi for the rest of the series. With a hamstring injury, Britska is available for selection. At the US Open today, the women's semi-final first, Sabalenka against Pegula, followed by Osaka and Anisimova. Osaka beat the 11th seed Makova. Anisimova shocked second seed Swiatek. Here's Swiatek.
I'm aware I couldn't win today's match playing like that, serving like that, and with Amanda being so aggressive on the returns, so I kind of get it. The serve made the difference. She was winning, I guess, more points from her serve, and I struggled a bit to sometimes make the first serve in, and she returned the ball from second serve. I guess that made a difference.
Men's semi-final tomorrow will be Sinner against Agela Sim after Alcaraz has battled Djokovic. Also today, South African KG Monchane competes in the wheelchair doubles semi-finals. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Thank you, Cindy. Almost 9:15. Or is it a better situation, a better picture on the roads?
Well, not really, Ray, because we still have got delays on the N12 West as well as the R24 West between Barber Road and the Kilulis interchange due to an accident. Traveling on the N3 both directions, delays between the Geldenhuys interchange and the Kilulis interchange. Well, the good news is that accident that was on the R24 east before the Kilulis interchange has been cleared, and we still have got delays on the M1 South between the Baklu interchange and Corler Drive while heading towards Sunny Hill. Do expect delays on the N3 North. An accident has been reported right near the Baklu turnoff. Delays from Marlborough Drive. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
They've stood tall, served hard, and dreamed big. Now it's time to honour the best among them. It's Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Tune in on Tuesday, the 9th of September, from 6 a.m. when we will reveal the winners and celebrate the excellence that makes Gauteng feel like home. Because every time a business wins, the whole community shines. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
Are you living with diabetes? Tired of painful fingerstick tests? Introducing a new continuous glucose monitoring system from Abbott Laboratories. The Freestyle Libre 2 system sends glucose readings straight to your compatible smartphone. With minute-by-minute glucose readings, optional glucose alarms, and excellent accuracy, the Freestyle Libre system is here to support you in the management of your diabetes. For more information and where to buy your Freestyle Libre 2 sensor, visit www.freestylelibre.za.com. Now available at your local pharmacy.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care? Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
And somebody I love to see, because you just cheer me up every single
Oh
day
my
when
goodness.
I hear you, is
Thabo
Sholimasha. How are you, Thabo?
I'm free, ray of light, my favorite ray. I hope you're good, man.
How many rays do you know? Don't answer that question.
Except the sponsors of rugby team in Australia.
Well, we were talking about this because there's a real estate agency in Australia called Ray White. And every time these guys play rugby, because they sponsor all the Aussie teams, course, I get these things on social media. Ray, have you bought a rugby team?
Yeah.
Ray, are you playing for the ACT Brumbies? And I'm like, what are you talking about? No.
Yeah, diversifying from broadcasting to rugby, all that more. Yeah, but Ray, always great to see you, man.
What you got?
A couple of things. Of course, it's a Thursday, so there's some furniture that is not going to be moved altogether. One, we will be having the dialogue. On the dialogue, we are looking at so many people losing their jobs due to retrenchment. ArcelorMittal shedding 3,500 jobs. We know about the tire company as well that shed some jobs. We do know about, I think it was Glencore as well. A number of companies and a number of people are being retrenched, including those companies that we know nothing about. People are losing their jobs left, right, and center, and we just want to focus on that on our feature between 11 and 12 on the dialogue. 10 and 11. Yeah, go ahead.
If you are retrenched, I mean, what do? There are those who open up their own businesses.
Yeah.
But there are those who don't. What do you do?
And chances are, Ray, even if you were to open up your business, you are doing that out of a reflex.
Yes.
So it may not be as successful as you'd want it to be because it's a quick alternative. You want to create something so quickly and you're throwing all this money in there, and chances are a year later you'll be in the same situation needing that money.
Same thing.
Same
thing.
So that's and then between 10 and 11, we are speaking to Nambi Tampumlwana on our wonderful feature where we will be chatting to her. She's an amazing actress, and also she will speak about actresses shedding jobs as well, because we forget about that industry every now and then. She's an activist of note. We saw her in Generations and very many other productions. So I'll be having a discussion with her, and I hope we'll be having a great time together. And then 9 to 10, Ray, in the past week, 14 people died on our roads. And I think you saw this. You spoke about it.
Yesterday, we had another one. Amo and I were talking about on the N1 near Allendale. 5 people killed
yesterday
in a taxi crash.
14 people died in just 1 week.
Shocking.
What is it about our driving in Gauteng? I'd like to ask you on the open line. Are we so intolerant? Are we so flagrantly breaking the rules of the road? We just don't care. 14 people dying in 7 days. It's scary. It's scary.
But you know, the thing is as well, and a friend of mine came up from Cape Town, and there everybody, she says, stops at the traffic lights. But you come to Johannesburg, and she says you can't get used to it because everybody just goes. And she's sitting there and someone's hooting at her, and she says, you can see it's red, of course. And she says, I want to go back to Cape Town.
Yeah. I mean, our driving here, so it will come under scrutiny. I'll also bring something that we often forget. The service industry individuals, they are somehow exposed to sad working conditions. I'm talking about car guards, waitresses, people at the back who are washing dishes. And whenever we speak about labor rights, for some reason, it's like we forget about them. We're talking about you and I who've got desks and who've got offices and so on. I mean, many of those people don't get basic salaries. They live on our tips. Even those tips, they have to share those tips with other people. That's modern day slavery. So I want to also put that under the spotlight. All that between 9 and 12, Ray.
There we go. That's Thabo Sholi-Mashau in for Clement Manyatela on the Clement Manyatela Show, as you heard, between 9 and 12. Never miss it.
There's strong, then there's AfriSem Strong. So champion the build with AfriSem Cement, the trusted A1 choice for builders who demand nothing less than superior quality. Crafted for exceptional strength, proven durability, and proudly produced in Mzansi. Because some builds just aren't strong. They're built to last with AfriSam, proud official sponsor to the Springboks.
Tip your way to glory in the Hollywood Bets Punters Challenge, the free-to-play horse racing game with daily cash giveaways and massive jackpot prizes. Pick all the winners on the race card and you could win 100,000 Rand. Bet 50 Rand or more on your selections using the Bet Slip feature and you could walk away with 1 million Rand. Visit punterschallenge.hollywoodbets.net today and tip your way to the top. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800
006 008.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for general practitioners, dentists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Kuveni.
It's so nice to know the business risk is taken care of by Business Outsurance. The call center was just a dream to deal with. Very seamless, easy experience, and it just feels like the people we're talking to on the other line understand our needs.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
7 minutes to 9 o'clock. Here's a story. Let's be honest. When we talk about Africa's future, we often speak about our youth, our economy, our politics. But how often do we speak about listen to this, 2 to 300 million Africans living with disabilities? That's nearly 1 in 5 people on the African continent. Too often, they're left out of boardrooms, workplaces, and big decisions. Something that's caught our eye, something historic. On the 9th of September, the very first Valuable 500 African Summit kicks off, hosted by Africa Tikkun together with the Gauteng provincial government. And Lana Roy joins us. She's the program lead for disability inclusion at Africa Tikkun. Hi, Lana. Good to have you on 702.
Hi, Ray. Yeah, so nice to be with you on today's show. And yeah, hello to your listeners.
Well, it's good to have you on too, because Valuable 500, the Valuable 500 Summit kicking off. This is historic. Tell us more about it, because like I said, between 2 and 300 million Africans living with disabilities. We should have had this a long time ago.
100%. So maybe some context just to contextualize why we've brought the Valuable 500, which is an international organization that has 500 plus corporates or organizations who pledge to improve and to include more people with disabilities in the workplace. But, just yesterday, we have a number of learnerships. So we run about 90, 100 learnerships at a time for people with disability. And yesterday alone, they finished their learnership. Now they need to be placed in work experience. And one of the organizations that was supposed to take them actually only took people without physical disability. And this is the problem, is that companies just don't know how to reasonably accommodate people with disability, and they actually see it in a negative way, whereas this is what we want to bring to life and we want to bring to the forefront, is that employing people with disability actually has a positive impact on your balance sheet and not a negative.
You see, so what can you do with companies to, number one, say, if you are employing somebody who is disabled, they can still do the job. And number two, like you just rightfully said now, it's actually good for your balance sheet.
100%. So this is what we've got to speak about, is what are the incentives, what are the positives around employing people, and most importantly, how do we really accommodate for these people? It's not just a lift, it's not just a ramp. There is language that needs to be spoken about. There is all different means and ways that we need to accommodate these people. And today, it just seems that there are more people suffering with non-visible disabilities, with visible disabilities. So companies really need to wake up and realize that basically we can't go on the same way that we've been doing things. We have to change. We have to look at people and understand their requirements and their needs in a more intense way. And this is what Valuable 500 that we're trying to do, is bring corporate, civil society and the government together in a room and say, okay, we need to solve for this. And that's what Africa Tikkun has done, and that's what we are trying to drive, is just this better inclusion of people with disability.
Yeah, I must admit, it comes just before the G20 summit, which is in November. Was this deliberate, and if it was, fantastic?
Completely deliberate. in terms of G20 is that we're actually taking some of the lessons or some of the outcomes of this actual summit into G20. There is a subsidiary that's also working on this, which is called D20, which is the disability area. And we're hopefully going to take outcomes that we discuss in this particular event into the G20 and the D20, which hopefully again will just be a second driver of people in the workplace looking for employment.
Yeah. Speaking of the workplace, I mean, the last thing you want to do is become confrontational. But I mean, how can you hold companies and even governments, I suppose, accountable and say, please commit to this? Come on, it's actually for a good cause. We come in peace, but please help us.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, is how do we hold people accountable? How do we hold government accountable? I'm not sure. I haven't got the answers for that, but we need to start, and that's why let's bring everyone in a room and let them pledge. So part of the Valuable 500 is around the CEOs of those particular companies who belong or who are members to the Valuable 500 to pledge, to be accountable for, number one, inclusive leadership, number two, representation and communication, and three, reporting and accountability. So those are the three core areas of the Valuable 500, and they get the CEOs of the group.
Yeah.
So these are world CEOs, from Apple to Kearney to Google to all the accounting firms, for their CEOs to actually pledge.
Yeah.
But the question is, how now do we get government and hold them accountable also to make sure that it's a public-private partnership?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. If people want to get involved, do you have a website for more info for the 9th?
So we do. It's www.africatikun.org and Valuable 500. The good news is that we are so fully subscribed for this event, which is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the next year or so, we'll have another one, and we'll make this an annual event and increase the numbers. But the uptake to this event has been unbelievable. We have really some key speakers locally and abroad that are coming through, and we're just really so excited to see the outcomes, and I hopefully can come back and report back to you on what was discussed and what we actually have taken through to the G20 or D20 and further.
What a great idea. What a great idea. Lana Roy, who's the program lead for disability inclusion at Africa Tikun. Thank you so much for being on the show with us this morning. And that wraps up our time together. Lots of interesting topics. Breakfast back again tomorrow between 6 and 9. It's just gone 9 o'clock. This Eyewitness News brought to you by Lotterland. Lotterland changes lives.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Aurélie Kalenga. Friends, colleagues and loved ones of renowned broadcast journalist Tidi Madia have gathered in Germiston this morning to bid her a final farewell. Madia died in hospital last week following a short illness. At the time of her passing, she was the Associate Editor for Politics at Eyewitness News. Lauren Isaacs has more.
It's been a week of mourning and celebrating the life of Tidi Madia.